Okay. Rapa-pa-pa-pa, rapa. And this one. Happy holidays, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you're having an absolutely spectacular Saturday. How are my people? How are you? You and maybe just two people, probably. But hi. Hi. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying your Saturday. Hopefully it's been chill and fun. We got a lot to talk about. We got like idea things I've been doing on Monday. I did on Monday. I've been waiting this whole week to tell you guys about extreme ideas, basically, that will hopefully you guys will be a part of. Came up with a bunch of stuff. I'm hoping that I can toss the ball to you, and you guys mess with it as well, so that it can become hopefully better, or give me different POVs of issues that we can engage with it. The whole like help me create a zombie idea by telling me the ways it could fail and bolstering them so it could succeed, kind of idea. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is weirdly for your boy, actually his Christmas, because of the family situation we got going on right now in our family. I have a lot of brothers, they have families, so in order for them to still have their Christmas day, and for us to still have our Christmas, we have Christmas Eve, they have Christmas Day, works out that way. It's fine for me. But, yes, yes, but Lone, what's good, Lone? How has your day been, buddy? Lone said, what's up, girl, what's good, Lone? Lone, you got me so excited, by the way, when you showed me that goddamn anime thing. The anime wish list, upcoming anime coming out this fall. I used to watch an anime podcast that had like a whenever it happened, they had like a whole episode dedicated to like going through the entire process of all of them, their pitch, essentially. And the only thing I disliked about every anime, anything I've ever seen on YouTube is hypercritical, and it's funny because it's just weeb shit. Like, I love anime, but it's not like I started gassing out when we started reading the I haven't laughed at her in a while, or we started reading like the anime synopsises, and I just lost my shit because they're all fucking bonkers. They're all just like saying it aloud makes you think, what is wrong with me? What happened to me that made me like, this is my shit, but also a shame. I'm kidding, I love it, but I used to watch a podcast like that where they literally would use one whole podcast, which makes sense, is an hour or so long, because we were doing a lot, and we almost went another hour just reading off the anime and whatnot. But yeah, my day is great. I uploaded my art to the art tab. Let's go. Wait. We'll look at it at the end, because yeah, this mouse Lone, this shitty fucking bastard mouse, it's the like little wireless thing is out of sight line, so it's just gone. It barely works, basically. I might as well just get up and do the things. You know, I have a pad here that kind of helps with it, but not in the way we need. Anywho, what's good, Fluff? Our boy Fluff coming in here throwing bushes? What's happening? I have no appropriate Christmas emote, so I have a bush. So here's Bush. Is that still... Okay, no, some of them come up. That's a bush right there. Sometimes the emotes don't show the fuck up. Also, yeah, sorry. I noticed that y'all's names are gargantuan and your words are slightly smaller. This is a stream plugin to where when I have to change shit, I have to go into code. And the code's like emote dash slash equal dash this size dash below this. I'm afraid to touch anything. I try to adjust some stuff, it adjusts it slightly. I always have to copy what I change in the code, delete it, paste what I want, it breaks everything, I put back what's there, it works again, I'm like, oh fuck, okay. It's just a series of like walking through a minefield where you dip your toe into the deep end, you're like, okay, dip your toe, blow up, except we reset, we come back to life. Also Lone and Fluff, because I think both of you at this point maybe have seen the channel that shall not be named. What are your thoughts? I say that feeling a kind of way about it. like to me it's different enough to where I think it could be criticized for being off, because it's just different enough to be that. But hit me with it. What do you guys think? What do you think could be improved? What do you think loses people? Yeah. I will say, the one thing I should have told you guys though, there is a shitty but it's there story to where episode 1 explains where episode 2 goes, episode 2 explains where episode 3 goes, and that kind of thing, which I kind of like. It makes people, at least me, it makes me interested to see what the next, like specifically with Live Die Repeat, it makes me excited to be like, when we finally get into like a melee game after we've been doing gunning for such a long time, it's like, oh shit, okay, it reinvigorates the series in a weird way. I like the idea of like, I'm not gonna tell you guys the actual story because I haven't expressly said it. It's kind of like hidden there in a little bit. But yeah. Alone says, Christmas Bush. What's up, Flo? Yeah, what's up, Flo? How's your day been, by the way? Hopefully you slept good. Flo says, probably recognize universal Twitch emote. But not YouTube's, maybe. Maybe. Goddamn stream bullshittery. Does that show up? I can't see. I wish I could make this. Yeah, it's it's what it has to be right now. It's enough. It's enough. Honestly, the reason why I have that there is in case I ever miss something, I can go back and see what was happening. Like sometimes I'll the chat will get away from me and I don't know what's happening because I went on a tangent and then you guys just got cooking essentially. So in the past broadcasts, if I ever want to use or edit something, I can like catch up on understanding what the stream is by just going back and rewinding time and looking in the edit. But Merry Christmas to all and a happy holiday to the rest. To the rest. Probably I'll recognize that. Fluff says your Twitch emotes in general. I've watched the first 2 episodes. The rest are waiting in my watch list. Yeah, no, you could have watched 1. What do you think? Is where I'm at. I also worry I overhype them because to me, from a person who's been doing the same thing for a long time, it was just creative enough to be like, oh fuck, this is a lot for me, but in hindsight, maybe I oversold it. I don't know. What's good, Lycanthrope? It's been a hot minute. Lycanthrope says, hiya and Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones that stay for all our beautiful community. Let's go, Lycanthrope. Thank you so much. So sweet. How is your holidays going, Lycanthrope? Hopefully good. Lone says, my thoughts were just what I expected, but I will say for the Boneworks video, the pacing is a bit slow. Yeah, no, I feel that too. Well, which one did you watch? Did you watch the very first one? Because the very first one I could see that being the case. At least for the first one I can't see that being the case. The second, like the newest one, that one's quite long. That one I made too long. The first one I did, I kind of had fun with the idea of like signals cutting out and it going off essentially. But the one I made, I kind of because I was fluctuating between these two, Live Die Repeat, which is like extremely go, and it's funny because to me, I don't know what's more satisfying when it comes to Live Die Repeat, the series that we're doing in that way. What weirds me out a little bit about that one is I don't know what pace. I kind of like the one take idea. Like ever since we did the first part, that kind of was that just happened to be the case because we were such in a high action packed zone. Like we were in a bar and moving through like each zone, which happened to be like layered. So we were like, it's 15 seconds there'd be another fight. 15 seconds there'd be another fight. But in something longer, I kind of like the long form one shot. It almost makes you feel like you're watching like a one take, I guess. Even though it's not. So you can clearly tell there's seams there where I have to like mend all these together unless you guys will want a video for like 5 months. I have to take the sum of the best parts and put it together. But for the for the for the An Ordinary Day, which is that format is basically called Adventure Premise. Which is just like going into a game and creating some rules and then following those rules. And yeah, the first one I thought was pretty good because it was like 10 minutes, I think. 15 minutes maybe, and the other one was 20 minutes, that one felt too long. But for Adventure Premise, I think I should play more into the fast pace. Signal cut out, here's something funny happening. Signal cut out, here's something interesting happening. Signal cut out, yeah. Instead of it being like kind of a, it started to evolve into a one take as well, because I just finished doing the Live Die Repeat one take, and then the An Ordinary Day I also did a one take. But the one thing that to me I wasn't sure, because I feel like people who are watching that series, the first episode there's like no gunplay, there's like nothing. So the second episode there's a fuck ton of gunplay, maybe too much gunplay, and maybe not enough chaos. Because I think you need to have like a lot of pattern interrupts, weird things. Also, it'd be cool to see different levels instead of the same level. So good feedback. I agree with that. The pacing is a tricky one though, especially when you're jumping between series. Hopefully I'll balance out. But the one thing that's also helpful is it's kind of difficult to set a weird, like, basically I feel like if I could make 5 failure series first and then make like the best one and then have that be part 1, that would probably be for the better. But like the idea is oh well, you know, hopefully in part 5 I'll finally nail down that pace and I'll nail down the format and I'll be able to just add things over time and it be interesting, and have fun with that. And to me, the reason why I like the Adventure Premise one so much is that I could create a narrative that makes it so that we could jump into Boneworks mods and have it be like there's anomalies happening in the shitty warehouse. Let's go into this weird thing. And one of them is like a furry weird mod that I've seen. And I thought that'd be so fucking funny to have this IT guy who's like, what the fuck? Okay, you know what? This might be my line. This might be where I quit. Okay, and have funny moments like that happen, which I thought would be cute. But otherwise, I think we probably should make it in a different type of series. And that could work, I guess. Still, it's a lot. I got a lot to talk to you guys about that, but I don't know how to consolidate my thoughts. But anyways, let me catch up on chat. Sorry. Lycanthrope says, hiya, Merry Christmas. Over to all that, right? Fluff says, I slept well, a completed Little Gator game added to my modest list of 100% Steam achievements. Really? You're an achievement hunter on Steam? I remember we talked about Alone with that. He already platinumed a couple games. I think it was like 2 or 3, and then we talked. And then you said, I think someone said something other as well, and that might have been you. We were like, yeah, I do a little bit of Achievement Hunter, a little bit. It's short, sweet, and super wholesome game. Yeah, you're telling me about it. It sounded interesting. I'm not sure it would be for me, but it sounds cute. Like it says, oh, well, way more better. I can get home from the hospital for Christmas, so it's better at home. Yeah. Oh, right, like it. Yeah, sorry. It's not been too long since we talked. Yeah, you're telling me you got badly sick for a minute. You've been bedridden in a hot minute. Yeesh. Hope you bounce back, buddy. Also, some of you guys have different names on Twitch than you do on YouTube, and I don't think you guys realize that sometimes I think of you guys as different people. You need to tell me when you're the same. Just some damn med bills kill me. Yeah, are you in the U.S.? Hardly have money for treatment and medicine, but hey, it's Christmas. Yeah, man. Woof. Yeah. What do you call it? My brother and his nieces just got like super sick. Everyone's been sick like for such a long time, and I am not excited to play these puzzles, dude. Fuck off. I hate that so much. That one sucks so much. I hate them. That one, it's just so confusing to my brain. I don't know why. Anyways, but anyways, the point is that we were like, they were complaining about the fact that Canada has slow healthcare. But I also think that that's kind of weird. Like, I still think you can, if you're willing to pay top dollar, go and get a person like right now and here if you wanted to. But still, people complain about it because it's like, it's so slow. And I'm like, yeah, but at least you're not fucking broke as shit. At least positive. Lone says, also, I'm mad I couldn't find the first video of the channel if I put the things that I searched in the same time. Damn you, YouTube. Yeah, man. Well, that was the thing that was funny because, like, to me, when we were first, I was hinting at it. I showed you guys a like little image, and it was like basically it's a dude screaming with a VR headset on, but on top of the VR headset, It's got like this cute, very cute Cthulhu-looking squid with multiple eyes on the hat, and then there's like a giant castle with a moon behind it. And it's Mind Palace of Madness is basically, and the premise of the whole thing is VR. And to me, it's because, I don't want to spill too much, but because there's a lot of meaning in that, actually, surprisingly. I don't know why, I was in a creative mood, but because the first idea that I had for the thing was Live, Die, Repeat, and the idea I had for it was basically being, it's kind of obvious at this point, the idea, the baseline story is you made a deal with an eldritch god to like become stronger. I still haven't ironed out those details, to become stronger or to become great or something like that, and they said okay. But the whole premise is suffering, basically, of like, oh, I'll just throw you into an encounter and either you'll go insane, lose your shit, or adapt and figure out. So I'm just gonna keep throwing you into like incredibly extreme encounters, and eventually you're gonna find your way. And that's the premise of the show, and that's the series, and that's the premise of I wanted to do an homage to that in the channel itself, in the banner at least. With this like cute, but also I messed around with everything because it's like a cute little squid. I could have went with like a giant fucking grotesque looking eldritch monster, but instead I went with a cute squid because it's also really playful. That's why at the time I also came up with the like adventure premise, which is an ordinary day at Tesla Factory 966, and yeah, that was basically the premise. Like it's just a cute, wholesome like IT guy in trying not to lose his job, essentially. So it doesn't make any sense, or it's just like it's not as intense as that. It's just it's a goofy one. But anyways, that's the whole thing. And then the last one is the reason why the channel name is Mind Palace of Madness is when I got like, I think it's because I was so analytical for such a long time with like doing data research, and that's incredibly helpful, and I still abide by all that. But I was not really creatively doing the thing, and you need to make something authentically unique that no one else is doing, which is inherently creative and also just observing others. In order to do that, I like just went nuts with the like ideas I sort of have, and I thought it was so fun. It was also cool to like, when you see that no one else is doing something, it lights, like, to me, I've always told you guys this, but whenever I see that like 15 other people have made a video that I'm going to make, another person would just like make the video or look at their video, make it better than their video. Kind of works, kind of doesn't, etc. But to me, it just completely sucks the life out of me entirely, because I'm like, well, there's no need for this anymore. That's one of the reasons why I went so fucking buck wild on Let It Die, is because no one was doing it, like literally nobody. And I was like, I'm not alone in needing help. I don't think so. Then I'm gonna produce it. And for like months, there was like one guy who made like 3 videos, and he was a really popular channel, but he only did 3 videos. And I was like, oh, I'll keep doing it then, because there was a need almost. There's no one who's already doing it. So for me, I'm a buck wild with all of these ideas, and a lot of the ideas I came up with, in the way that I came up with them, was fucking nuts. Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, the ideas were like, one of them was, I loved the idea of how VR gave you access to everything, and how mods gave you access to any sort of setting that you wanted. So I seen a video of Hellsplit Arena, that Melee game I showed you guys a couple weeks ago. I think Fluff was there, and I seen a person playing it in like a video, and because it's the first time I seen the game, and he picked up a Warhammer for 2 seconds and like broke someone's head in. And I had an idea that I thought, wouldn't it, I've seen other ways in like other VR things and other YouTube channels where they basically just create a premise around one idea, and then they just maximize that as much as possible. So I told you guys about this one, actually, I think, but the idea is, this is why you shouldn't go into Thor's castle. It was the title of the video I had, which is basically you just picking up this Warhammer and brutalizing these skeletons and zombies like crazy. But that wasn't unique enough. And I also was a little nervous baby at the time. This is before I came up with An Ordinary Day at, where I'm basically just I'm basically RPing like an asshole. I've never done it before. I'm trying my best. I'm using editing to mask how fucking bad I am. But the whole Thor's thing, at the time when I was coming up with the idea, I didn't like the idea that I didn't want to be like, try to do like a weird Thor impression. So then I was like, okay, fuck it, Thor's a mute. Then I was like, okay, sure, maybe that's funny. You know, we could maybe say like, okay, Thor is mute, and people people would always extrapolate what he meant, but it wasn't what he meant. Therefore, mass outbursts of rage and anger, brutalizing people. He has a bad mantra, but it's really he can't communicate. And yeah. But then I was like, but that's kind of a cop out. And we were just literally a guy swinging around a hammer in a video. So then I thought, okay, what if I mess with the pitch of my voice, and I RP for the skeletons that we're destroying? So yeah, so a skeleton comes out and is like, hello, or I'm lost actually, where am I? Boom, destroyed. Oh my god, that was my brother, please stop. Boom, another death. And that could be a fun idea, but literally what I'm describing is like fucking crazy, bonkers, madness. How did I come to that conclusion? I don't know. Hence the idea, a beautiful mind palace, a nice little zone of beautiful madness. Mind Palace of Madness, that's the title name. Gah! Anyways, thank you for letting me ramble. Fluff says, I enjoyed the first Perfect Play video. I agree with Lone on the first Boneworks one. I got the premise, it just felt a little bit slow. A long video doesn't need to feel slow if the viewer is engaged. Yeah, you know, that's true. Yeah, it's one of those things where, to me, I guess it's tricky, because I guess it's like, to me, I think the fast series would be Live Die Repeat, which is quite you know, just constant combat happening. So I thought maybe that I could make something that's like a bridge between what we normally do, which is very like long form let's play type stuff where I'm just rambling for a long time, although I suppose a lot of people have that in streams. But yeah, no, it probably would have been helpful to do that too. It's interesting feedback. I'll try to I don't know, because I thought the first Boneworks one was quite quick, especially considering the whole premise is built off of the idea. I guess that's also a thing with the idea. It really helps if you have an understanding of like the weird inside jokes I'm making, but I don't know if that really would help with the engagement aspect of it. It makes sense though that those videos are doing significantly not well compared to the Live Die Repeat one, so the pace thing might be the issue. I just tried to think of how I could up the pace and keep you engaged in that way. Because that one by far takes the most time to edit because of the overlays, the weird like groveled voice thing all having to be edited, cutting out the attempts at trying to create a bit and then failing horribly and then having to do it properly. So yeah. What's good, Nub? Nub says, I am here for negativity. Oh wait, wrong stream. Good to have you, Nub. Hope you're having a lovely holiday. Love says, I've watched a few where the point was to be brief and within 10 minutes, only to waste the first minute or two explaining why they're keeping the video short. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, I was surprised you guys said that about the first one though, because I think the first one I edited like the first 10 minutes to be. It's a quick punchy intro, like, hey, I've been working here for this much time, punches in, then it has like a montage of chaos, and then it slows down. So it revs up, hints at what's happening in the video, then slows down. Which was interesting to me that was the one that was weirder pace. Yeah, I guess I could cut out more of the weird explanation of the IT guy and then just go with like, and I think it becomes quite almost identical to Live Die Repeat if it just becomes too combat heavy. Fluff says, I'm not an achievement hunter, especially not on Steam, but it wasn't a difficult game to 100%, especially when 5 of them just talk to NPCs repeatedly at some point, story point sections. Yeah, especially like to me, that was always the thing that to me always got me. I'm not an achievement hunter by any stretch of the imagination, but if I looked at an achievement list and I got like 90% of them somehow, some way, and then I had like 5 others to get, and they weren't incredibly and crazy, then you're like, this could be something that could help me. I want to play the game more. This could be something that gets me to do it, you know? Which that, to me, I think is the right line. Sometimes when you look at the achievement list, though, and it's like, beat the game on the hardest difficulty, and you're like, this game is already 20 hours. Like, that's like 40, 50 hours to do that, because it's hard mode. Nova says, it really depends on what you got. I personally haven't had any big issue, so the wait has been mostly irrelevant. What was that referring to? But if I had to do something big, and I had the money for it, I'd go. Sorry for the health. We were talking about healthcare thing. I'd go to the U.S. to get it done. Yeah, yeah. But to me, I wonder because I don't think there's anything stopping in Canada for you to charge for a higher quality Medicare. I don't think. Is there something in law that you can like if you run like a what do you call it, like your own personal sect of whatever? I don't think that would. Yeah. Yeah. Fluff says I only have like 100% of games on Steam, AC Origins, Costume Quest, and Little Gator Game being one. Oh wow, so yeah, not just like a couple. All right. Nub says, and did you have the whole -50 because it was super cold for no reason here? Yeah, man. Well, no, we had we usually have like a spike. Like usually it's cold, it's really cold, and then there's like a massive spike and then it cools down, or like settles down. This was one that was different, man. This was like a whole week of like -40. Like, it was nuts. And I imagine it fluctuated to 50 on occasion. But, yeah, shit. Especially with the windshield. Like, it's even more brutal, you know? Type like a human being. Or I'm banning you. What did he say? Hi, improve. Oh, I see. I see. Good man, Nub. Good man. The other two games had one achievement or whatever, so not really. Yeah, it was one of those two. What's good, Beastie? Beastie says, so, Steam, what's good, Blue Beastie? What is I don't like how that bottle's shaking. Too much. Fluff says, well, I haven't watched the rest yet, so I will report back, if the longer one is an No, I'll get ahead of that. Well, it depends. I don't think so. If you think the first one was a little too not enough, it's not stimulating enough or whatever, the pace was off, then yeah, the second was gonna be worse, significantly worse, because it's, I mean, unless you get super stimulated by gunplay, well, maybe actually, I might have started. No, maybe it's a better. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Because I now realize after in the edit I moved something forward and something else back. So we start off slashing bitches in the face with a cleaver. If I ever get monetization on that channel, it's not going to look good. But anyway, yeah. That would actually, in a weird way, if you were thought that like hitting things with a bat was too much, then yeah, it might be better in moments. I do think just by nature of explaining like, okay, we're moving through the factory, so it has a moment of slow, but we'll see. But yes. Nub says, I think it was -50 for one day. Golly. That was, you know what the craziest thing, Nub? I remember back in the day when like America, or Texas, I should say Texas, had like a slight cold thing, but their infrastructure was not ready for it. And it made me happy as a where we live. I think we live relatively in Alberta. At least I live in Alberta. I think you live in Alberta. Yeah, Edmonton, I think, is Alberta counts. So it's cold where we are. And I just like them, like, you know what? The fact that we can handle -50, and it gets hot in the summer. It gets real hot in the summer. Same thing. It's like where we have momentary spikes of like, now you're fucked up. But it happens so much that our infrastructure, I think, is prepared for it. So we're like, okay, there's a lot of crashes. We have dump trucks that just dump salt on the ground just to get rid of the freezingness. And yeah. It makes me happy about, like, with all the crazy environmental things happening each year, getting more radical. I hope Canada has like a little bit of a brace, because we've been dealing with it for a good bit. Although I don't know if it's the same thing in places like Egypt and stuff. I don't know if they have also like maybe. I don't know what you can do with the heat. The heat seems limiting. Like maybe just create a lot of shade. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of water maybe. Dig into the ground. I don't know. Make a mall under the ground. I don't know. Fluff says, yeah, those sort of achievements turn me off from. Yeah, man. There's so many achievements that I feel like don't. Like, to me, I always like the achievements that were like in Skyrim that pushed you forward to want to play. Like, they kept you aware of like, oh, I didn't even know this is a thing. Like, complete all of the Daedra quest lines in Skyrim. You're like, okay. Like, that sounds fucking awesome. I thought I got them all. I guess I missed one. And you gotta go find that one. You go online, find it. You look at a YouTube video. You become a part of the YouTube community because you see this channel's uploading a ton of Skyrim, and then you get engrossed within that space. And then you go off, complete the things, and then you go back and you look. Okay, now I need to complete the what do you call it? Like there was a quest line in the Skyrim that I never did, but I saw an achievement for that made me want to go play it. But it was the Blades quest line in Skyrim. I couldn't do it. I thought that's right. It required you to kill Aldo. Nah, what is his name? The goddamn dragon at the top of the thing. I couldn't do it. I'm too much of a baby. He was nice. He was nice to me. He had my back. I'm not just gonna stab his ass. Although I will kill people for the Dark Brotherhood, but not my dragon friend. Those are random people. I don't know. But this dragon who took care of me was sweet to me. I'm not doing it. And they're like, you gotta kill him. And also the lady just awful about it. The lady's just like, he's a disgusting lizard. Stomp on his throat. And I'm like, well, he's not doing anything. And they're like, you're gonna look him in the eye and stab him through the heart. And I'm like, but is there not a more merciful way to do it? And you're like, no, you're gonna get all of his children, and it just keeps getting worse. And you're like, you're wrong. Even if you're right, you're wrong. Something about you is awful. Okay. Okay, now that we have some people here, we got Beastie, we got Nub, we got Fluff, we got Lone, we got Lycanthrope, hopefully. But ladies and gentlemen, your boy wanted to up the ante in Streamland somewhat. I'm still going whole hog into making VR content on the Mind Palace and Madness channel, so be patient with me. Also, we're still uploading to the Share Grin channel, like the anime channel, basically at this point. It's just whenever I watch an anime, I throw it up there, and those videos are actually doing stupidly well compared to everything else. Yeah. Anyways, but I did want to say that I'm gonna start to do the same R&R that I'm doing for VR games and stuff like that, and content for streaming and whatnot. So I want to run by you guys some like stream formats / premises that I have, that I came up with, and I want to get your guys' take on them. I want you guys to play with the idea, see where it could maybe break, where it would not be as fun. Also, I don't know, what do you think? How do you think we should do this? Do you think I should tell you guys the entire idea first? All of them, I mean, or tell you one idea and then we'll talk about it. I think we'll try that one. Okay. I took a picture of a screen on my phone because it would take a lot to load it up on my phone. All right. This one is not excessively unique, I will admit, but it's called Modded VR Adventure. These are just names to help me understand what it is. So they describe the thing, mostly. But yes, basically, what did I have written here? So yeah, it'd be basically just a playground for us to mess around with. I would download 5 mods, and then I would say, okay, we're gonna play it on a stream. I think this works really well with a game called Blade and Sorcery, which just has a plethora of things, and we could take certain things from like pop culture, whether it's like in the game right now, there's a Doom Eternal giant claymore that you can use. We can come up with a fun title for the stream and then just use that against weird big titty succubus ladies. Actually, I'm sure Red would love that. It's literally, I think I've seen a mod that is almost identical to the thing he's creating. But yeah, we can have really fun with that. We'd have to make sure those streams are on YouTube because YouTube can allow it a little bit more than Twitch. But yes, so that can be fun. What else did I have here? Okay, so this was one that I think yeah. There's also mods that give you something interesting. Like in Blade of Sorcery, there's a one where there's a pencil. You can literally just download a pencil, and it's just like a sharp point weapon. But we could have a fun stream where it basically says, can we beat this level with only a pencil? Which, yeah, that's kind of like the pretext of what. Yeah, it doesn't just have to be, we're playing with mods. It could be, here's a premise. Can we achieve the goal of beating a level with just a tiny little pencil when everyone has like a giant sword and claymores? That could be fun. But here's where I think you guys will start to like it a little bit more. Here's what I thought could be really fun for the chat, for you guys to have power. And I'm not sure how we should limit said power, okay? but I have an idea for a format for our streams called Automaton or Devil on My Shoulder. That's the format name. And basically, we play a VR game, and everything you guys tell me to do, I do. But I can complain about it. I can complain about it, and I can nix some things, but it will be a struggle. I'll have to act out that I'm being possessed, and I have to stop it. The question is, do I just look at chat, and whatever I see first, we do, and we have to try to manage the consequences? I think this would work really well in Skyrim, where we're just like, okay, what do you guys, kill the guard. I'm like, okay, I'm killing the guard now. We're killing the guard. Okay, everyone's out trying to kill me now. I'm running. Someone says, grab that child and bring him to the sewer. What? Okay, we're grabbing the child, we're dragging him into the sewer. What's happening? I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm not looking at chat until we're out of the sewer because this is getting too weird for me. All right, good. We're out and about. Go to the faraway cabin. Basically like a D&D adventure, except I'm literally an automaton, or you're the devil on my shoulder. So yeah. That's the one premise. But I don't know if I should do it with, like, we can redeem stream points. Basically, we could use it like that. I think I'd rather just say fuck it. The first thing I see, or the overall consensus, we also could put a lot of strains on our mods in the community and do polls. But I don't like how slow the polls could be, probably. But that's one. Also, I'll give you guys two, and then we'll talk about it. Okay? I've realized I was supposed to do one, and then talk about it, one, and then talk about it. Where is my mouse? Scroll up. There we go. Okay. I'm too addicted to idle games and need intervention at this point. Nub. If you're happy, you're happy. Pretty sure I live like 3 hours, 4 hours. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm sure too. Yeah, I know. I know. And says also, this guy has a ton of things going on during combat. I don't think I'd ever get the hang of it. This shit where you're like, yeah, it looks. I'm pretty hyped about it. It looks like a lot. It looks like it'd be too much, but if you were to dedicate like streaming it for a month, at the end of the last stream, you'd be on autopilot mode and just letting shit rip. But then if you walked away for 2 days, you'd be fucked. You'd be absolutely, everything would go away. BZ said, bro, I do not like Skyrim so much stuff just for the combat to be absolutely garbage. Yeah, that's well. Hey, now with mods, Beastie, it's a lot better. Also, I think VR, to me, it just seems so cool, Beastie, to be playing Skyrim in VR with like some magic mods that give you the power to like force choke somebody right in front of your eyes and like concuss them off of a bridge. That sounds pretty sick. To where I'm like, I think it'd be hard to not love the combat. Also, to summon like an army of little hobgoblin elves just to fucking wreck. It sounds also fun. So yeah. So I think there's a way for you to make the combat better. Of course, mods being the saving grace there. We have a hydrate. I did put tea in I did put honey in my tea today. Let's see if it's shit or not. Tastes kind of like nothing, honestly. I wonder if it all sunk to the bottom. Huh. It is glucose though, so that's nice. Can't spell anything today. Got it. Beastie, you know this at this point. You could say a gibberish, and I would still work through it. And if I needed clarification, I would ask politely. But you can spell anything as horrible as you want here. I have a grade 3ers probably spelling. That's being generous. Nub says mods help with Skyrim. Yes. Nub says honestly, vanilla Skyrim is probably the worst game in I'm not sure about that. I enjoyed it, but yes, it mods. I think if you go from mods to that, a lot. Yeah, it's not great. BC says never touch mods aside from a sexy lady one. Honestly, ooh, attempting to try it now, but the amount of sexy mods is not, dude. There's more hotter mods than anything else. Anything else. And I've rarely touched the sexy mod ladies once, at least for Skyrim. Nub says, I only have hotter lady mods. There is one that completely reworks combat a lot more oriented. Yeah. Well, there was a lot of ones that, to me, the ones that always stood out to me in Skyrim was the companion mods. But it's always like, it's also like a make or break. Like, there was a million companion mods, but the ones that were voiced to me was just like, fuck yeah. I don't know why, I enjoyed those ones way more. Oh, my chest. Sorry. Oh uncultured. Love says Second Life traded to full quote of 100 ladies, a full quota for sexy ladies. Lone says big 100 succubus lady, I'm in. Yeah, honestly, it's that, but almost worse. And also, it's too realistic. Like, you could grab them, legitimately. Ugh. Yeah, because Blade and Sorcery has an entire physics engine, and believe you me, modders go up buck wild with all those physics. Num says a ton of them that enhance magic to be better. Yeah, even adding the custom magic Oblivion. Oh, the touch one, that's sick. I might have to download that one too, because that was one of my favorite. I just don't know how it would work in VR. I'm with Lone on this one. Breezy says that sounds sick. Lone says Grin is giving us the it is. So this is now. So now we're on this. So that was modding. That could be fun. Modding is hard until I can show you guys. Like, it puts a lot of strain on me to be like, come up with a title that seems interesting, like beating a whole level with a pencil, trying not to get demonetized from Demon Lady or whatever it be, you know? Or totally not my kink, and it's us fighting demon ladies who happen to be wearing not enough clothing. But yeah. Fluff says, I rarely play female characters as it is, and outside of general aesthetic polish mods, I don't go out of my way to make companions look like virtual goddesses, especially when my go-to companion mods were both males too. Yeah, to me, my biggest thing with the mods, I like attractive and like pretty and beautiful, but then there's like yeah, some like real like, oh my god, you like you look like you just walked out of an MMO or a porn site. You know what I mean? It's like it's too much to where like I get distracted. I'm trying to do combat and I see like we're in this like muddy biome and then there's just like a Victoria's Secret model in my fucking face wearing nothing, and I'm like, this, how does no one like, hey, I'm gonna go do something else? And in that case, you're not even playing the game, my guy. Come on. Why is that playing? Fuck, I just turned off the shit. I'm accidentally shit. Sorry. My phone is attached to a Siri, a Google Home thing that's playing the radio. So I seen that my phone was playing it, and I was like, what the fuck? So I paused it, and then I hear steps upstairs. Like, what happened? Oh, man. Okay. BC says, I promise to abuse it in the best way possible. That's the idea. Hopefully it ends up having some funny instances. Nub says, hey Fluff, it has how to do's as well. Maz don't do it's well. I will no. They discriminate. They discriminate a good bit. For every like one dude, it's like the Tower Fantasy ratio. For every one dude, there's 50 million women, and adjacent. And yeah. Maz don't discriminate. Yeah. Fluff says, I know, but I don't seek those ones either. Again, I like, to me, like one of the, like I like, there was a mod for, in Fallout 4, there was a mod for, I think her name was Curie, who made her look like super badass. She had like short hair, they gave her some like, okay eyeshadow, stuff like that, but I put her in like a dark, or a Brotherhood black like suit that goes in underneath power armor, and she looks so fucking clean. She looks like a badass military person. Like, that's the person that like looks attractive and nice, but not is gonna make me think like, oh, I should be doing something else instead of playing this game right now in this specific moment while I look at you. Yeah. Well, no, I would just go somewhere to find something of higher quality that's more, yeah. Anyway. I know, but I don't. I got such fixated fixes else. Exactly, that's my thought. It could like detonate something in your brain. And you're like, all right, I guess it's time to do it. And yeah, the worst it's written, the better a grin can. It's true. It's true. My brain will. It's actually, you know what's fucked up now? That's actually really accurate, because specifically, a lot of my schooling was done in a class for people with learning disabilities, basically. So and again, it's like such an under. You're better off going in normal classes and just trying to survive, because it's just so underfunded. So a lot of times they're getting the kids who are okay but poor, like worse than normal but better than what's there, to teach the other kids and to help proofread everything. So I got really good at like reading between the lines of what this person was trying to say. Fluff says, honestly, I just don't have the adequate privacy to mod up a game like Skyrim for the sake of Harada. That makes sense. Yeah, people could hear you the sounds. Fluff, BC says, Fluff is refined gentleman. Refined gentleman. Mostly Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreaker has been overflowing with Harada mods lately, at least the last I looked. Oh yeah, no, that to me is never not a thing unless you have to like filter those out, and then there's some there still. Yeah. BC says, oh, do they make the monsters Harada? This honestly surprised me. No, it's mostly the town people. Oh, okay, I was about to say, the monsters. I mean, given if you go to some horrible places on the internet or even in comment sections of like anything, there's always some. Maybe it's just the apps I have on my phone where people are just awful. If you ever want to see, the apps on my phone are like horrible in the way that like they're just meme apps, but they're not moderated at all. So you'll be like seeing a person be super wholesome and then just a person explicitly racist, and you're like, fuck me. It's just like gives you a good brace for the humanity of like, okay, you could really run into anything online. Anyways, but yeah, then people upload like an image of something and you're like, that is a lot. I was not expecting to see this. Because bro, almost any time I go browse the Nexus or check on any update, the main page is always big titty female hunters. Let me guess, 90% of them are your handler, or do you not have a handler in that monster hunter? It's not easy to make the monsters Harada, but I recall a particular one from World that only known about because of the filthy degenerate furry Discord server I'm in. Okay. I feel like I like how you gave yourself an out, but then just completely took yourself in more deep. We're like, I'm not a pervert, but I am a part of a community of perverts. But normally, this is mine, that's them. Okay, I'm here, that's their weird shit. But this is my weird shit. I appreciate it. Hell honesty. One says, hell yeah, let's do it. What's good, Red? Red says, hiya. Red, we just talked about some ideas for stream. We got a lot more to go through. Maybe like 3 actually, but yeah, one of them is someone else explain it. I think you know about one of them. Hey Red, never bothered with the body mod for Skyrim either, although I was surprised with Gopher of all people had a guide on how to install one. The body mod? Oh yeah, well Gopher's been playing Skyrim for like since its inception, so like he's probably got a guide on everything, just kind of trying to get after, helping everybody as well as keeping that alive. Also, what a good fucking formula, man. What a fucking banger of an idea. Like, there's always going to be mods, and you're just going to review them and, like, be charming, and, like, you'll always have something that's new, and people could hate you but like the mod, so it just seems like it works, Red says, Merry Christmas / Happy Holidays. Everyone's good, Red. Hopefully have another holiday as well, or Christmas Eve, or holiday day, I guess. Well, actually, I may have used one, but it was more of a vanilla polish sort of one. Yeah, I used what was it, the CBBE body with the underwear, because yeah, man, the amount of times people be just like ripping the clothes off, and you're like, that's a straight up, yeah, that's yep, okay, I just wanted the armor, but now we're gonna pause the game and do something else. Mostly just got improvement textures and style without making it look like a Carino. Yeah, that was one thing. The aspect of modding that I never got is like there's a lot of like weird bone structure mods for the faces that make them look like younger and also like more round in the jawline to where it looks very weird styling. Where I'm like, okay, I guess doesn't look better than to me, but okay, I guess people have different things. Also, yeah, that was the other thing in the modding community is that there's a lot of thin, like a lot of like bone skinny women in the thing. Like, I'm not sure I'm not in this one. I mostly just got improved textures. Yes, yes, yes. It's cause how every Korean Japanese style MMO looks almost exactly like the same. Yes, yes, yes. Red says, "Lol, say what you will about Korean MMOs, but IMO, they have the best character. That's true. Character creators mods for any game, especially Black. Yeah, Black. I was about to say Black Desert is the one that has like the most insane one I've ever seen. Um, yeah. Although I do like games like with like Saints Row that have like specifically the first Saints Row that had like seems like it has enough to where you can actually can do the things you want to do without like crashing your game, etc. It's funny though, games like that always have like the most crazy looking character always have like most of the armor covers up your face. I guess now maybe not Black Desert, maybe not Black Desert. Never mind. MMOs maybe have an out for that, but most games that have like Fallout, you'll have a character customization thing, but most of the time you're wearing a helmet and you can't like transmog it off, so it's just weird. Too bad the gameplay is a Korean MMO. Yeah. Some of them are. I don't like MMOs like that. They're slow. Actually, maybe I don't know. Black Desert actually might have been the one that I actually enjoyed. I don't like the like hit a button, your character will do a thing, you have no control over that thing, and then you just queue up other abilities. I don't like that. I like reactionary gameplay, which is why that one game that I gave a try and I would have liked it I think if I would have kept playing New World, but I just never finished it. Yeah. I know from the Uncultured, I could easily direct those with roles access to the furry of those surface level degeneracy of mine. It's true, that does exist. He says, I'm not a Harada, but it's some quality stuff in there. I hope he's like, actually, the man's right. It's not for me, but it's quality. Appreciating perversion. What a thing. Or art, I should say, sorry. I just don't need my Skyrim looking like Black Desert Online. I personally spent hours making custom bodies for Skyrim playthroughs, usually CBE. Yeah, man. What do you call it? Well, that's the funnest part about like those games, is again, it's kind of like the same culture of Skyrim or modding, which is like you spend more time doing the prep than you do playing in a weird way. Another hydrate. I'm trying to catch up on chat so I can get the ideas. There's a question from Monty Ryan. People define enhance their twins even. Oh. Weird. Which is fine. I do not care if it was lore friendly at all. Yeah. Yeah, I've never really cared about the lore friendly one, to be honest. That was all to a point, I think. If it looks like it's funny because like to me in a game like Fallout, I don't care about the lore friendliness. I do care about something looking super duper out of place. Like that bothers me a little bit. Or like when you see that's why to me like a lot of the skin texture mods and all that stuff are weird, is because like they're without. They don't look like they make like they're. It's like in a perfectly dirty world. There's like a bright white suit and a white like electric gun, and it just looks super weird. Like it just doesn't make sense. If it's a dirty world, I want my guns looking semi-dirty. Okay, I don't know. I think it's the same thing even in Fallout 4. My character, I made sure to throw like mud on his face and shit because it's like you're in the fucking wasteland. We're wearing body armor. I don't want you to look like clean as hell. With that being said, though, Skyrim, I think the males always looked, and everyone looked dirty. Everyone looked extremely dirty, and there's magic in this world, so like, you think there'd be a magic spell of like, wash my fucking face, or something. I mostly focused on game enhancement and stabilization mods for armors and weapons. Yeah, for me, I'm a one-trick pony. It's usually gameplay access or characters. Gameplay access being like housing mods, magic in the Skyrim, maybe a sword that does something cool, or companions, basically. Especially anything turned out community tends to call Ennearim? Okay. Although with me mentioning BDO, a friend of mine has been playing again, and I'm curious on trying some of the new classes, Saga in particular, or Sage in particular. Okay, for BDO, Black Desert Online. Okay. I certainly prefer armor that leaves the Harada place very visible. More skin the better. Really? Jesus. Distracting is all I'm saying. Sage being a time-space mage that can ascend into a Zeus-like lightning javelin throne. Shit. Say what you want, man. That game looks. That sounds awesome. That sounds rad. I think I'm pretty clear that Red and I are polar opposites when it comes to our game mods. Yes, yes. Red says, I imagine Black Desert PvE is still a grind. Is still grind mods for hours. Maybe world bosses even now, and then in crafting professionalism. But BC says everybody knows the best armor is just string barely covers it. No, guys, I seriously, I'm lost a little bit on that one. To me, I put myself in that position. I just think distracting is the one thing that comes to my brain. I want to play the game. I want to have fun. I'm not here to continue to rip my soul out of my body, if you know what I mean. Anyways, BC says, imagine or that Fluff says, I'm more about things looking and feeling cooler. Red likes Smexier, yes. Nub says, you could say he likes it red hot. Okay. Another hydrate. Lone's drowning me. Okay. Alright, I may just pause here. How far are we? We're not far away. Okay, I'm just gonna give you guys another idea and we're gonna eventually get to it. Okay. Give me a minute. Okay, so we talked about mod stream ideas, formats that we could pursue. We got mod VR adventure. We download mods. Could be like a pencil mod, and then we destroy a level in Blade and Sorcery. It could be us downloading a smexy, crazy demon huntress, and we have to fight him off. I don't know. Maybe we have a bonk stick. And we say, how long can we survive? That'd be great. That's a great idea. We should totally make that, actually. Get a bat with bonk on it mod, and then get a bunch of whores to try to kill us, and we're just surviving. Great idea. I need to write that down. Okay, we did that. I gotta hold it like this. Okay, we have the automaton or Dell on my shoulder, which is basically you guys just tell me what to do in the game, and I have to do it with reason. I will not try to get completely canceled, but yes. The other one that I thought could be fun is VR challenge mode. This one is just mainly there for like easy title access. So there's two versions of this. One is the format of we set the stage for something like beating, like, can you tear down an outpost barehanded in, I don't know what, or like, can you tear down an outpost barehanded in Saints and Sinners, the VR mod game? So you just use a knife, maybe not barehanded, with one knife. Can you tear down a gunman warehouse with just something like that? Or like, can you beat Boneworks with just a brick? I talked to you guys about that one before. Can you do XYZ? So there's basically, in the title, there's a challenge prospect that could be interesting given what the challenge is. So that's one version of it, which I think would be fun. But then there's the idea, which I think you guys might like more, which is, how do I give you guys more power instead of it just being watching a guy do something? So I thought maybe we could have redeems for your channel points and whatnot, to say, okay, for a minute you're gonna not use your right hand. So we're playing VR. I can only use my left hand. You could say, you could redeem one that basically puts me on my ass. Basically, it drops me to the ground. I have to fight whatever I'm doing on the ground. I'm not able to move around, or if I am, I'm on a lower level. So a lot of dick punching and shit. There's another one where we could do one where I have to close one of my eyes, so it's harder to just operate. A challenge mode. So basically, it's you guys are the thing that's trying to inhibit me from playing. One of the games that comes to mind for this is Hellsplit Arena, which is way more melee heavy. If there was one that's like, okay, go and switch to your left hand, your offhand, that would be miserable. And yeah. So that's another VR session that we could do, where you guys would have power to torture me as we try to achieve something, and or I could set up a premise beforehand that could be a challenge worth pursuing. I'll just put that one out there because we still have a lot of time. So I'll sprinkle them out as we go along. As I said, I tend to get fixes elsewhere, whether it's a game built for Harada or something like Sims 4 cough. What? Bit for Harada, or otherwise like Sims. Okay, I don't know. Okay. BC says, what? There's Harada mods for Sims? There is Harada mods for games like Darkest Dungeon. Is there Harada mods for Dragon's Dogma? Huh? I don't know why. I seen D and I thought Dragon's Dogma. I don't know. Red says, that's why you install body mods that also affect all NPC. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. That's the, yeah. Well, that's the default. You can't download a body mod without them replacing everything, it seems like. You have to specify, like, no, put clothes on them, please. Fluff says, it's simple to toggle the Harada mods on or off when I'll try, then I'll try it. But Skyrim and Bethesda games, game mod is messy as meth to do with without breaking. Yeah, it's true. It's a whole process. Nub says, you need to use MO. It literally becomes a oh yeah, right, there is that. Yeah, there is a framework for Skyrim that allows you to like open up a side menu and toggle and like tweak things. It's actually really nice. It's one of the recent developments. I think it happened in the 3 years after Skyrim's launch, which allowed you to like have a framework that you could open up a thing and mess around with, like, oh, you can literally customize the frequency of instant killing somebody or something like that. It looked neat. But it also depends on if the Harada mod scales it with that framework, because sometimes they don't, which can be tricky. But yes, there's a pretty big community around Sims 4 Harada stuff, and it's gone on to add more than just surface level Harada. That one weirdly makes sense because it's just 3D animations. Yeah, I remember what he called it. I watched a video on YouTube of a guy playing a Harada game, and it was all blurred, but it was basically just like, yeah, you know when you see Overwatch stuff, because you can't miss it especially when Overwatch is a thing, you couldn't miss it. It's just like 3D animations, basically, like a 3D artist, clearly just like, oh, these are free templates. I'm already making Harada. I'll just overlay this, and golly, a lot of overlay. Man, I think Overwatch was massively popular due to that. Due to just being like, here's all of the free... And it's funny because even Blizzard came forward and said, we don't know if we like this. And they're like, really? You gave us the free... Yeah. I think every company's just like, oh, they're just trying to see the overlay of these characters because they want to cosplay them. And they're like... yeah, that's why we want the 3D model of them. Yeah, thank you. Full quality, perfect. What? I'm salivating. Okay, but Fluff says, by that I mean they've deepened the life sim system. Okay. Nub says, I feel like Beastie doesn't actually know where to look because it's yeah. I'm about to say, well, I haven't heard about the Sims thing either. I've heard about everything in terms of Skyrim and all that stuff, but I know Sims has a hella community, but I didn't know that. Tell me your secrets, says Beastie. Someone put blinders on Beastie. I didn't know either. I knew about Skyrim. I knew most things. I just didn't know that it was that prevalent. Like, you could argue that like 90... Like, Skyrim mods have fluctuated over the years quite a bit. From like, there was a lot of armor mods. Now there's a lot of story mods. Now there was a lot of companion mods. Now everything's tapered off. But the one thing that's still chugging is the Harada mods. Harada mods have never stopped. I didn't know there was that for Sims, but I guess that's the case. Beastie, the same place you get Skyrim ones, is where you can get a ton of Sims one. Is it Lover's Lab? I remember MXR talking about that a while ago. Yes. Fluff says yes. That's where it is. Beastie says searching. Nub says bonk whores as a stream. Great idea. Have to write that down. That's a good idea. Solid idea. If I can, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how close to the wire you can get. We can download something that's like close, but maybe not quite. Although I think I seen a video of a person having something pretty close to what I was like. Okay, this is a lot. I have to self demonetize it though, or age restrict it though, just to be so I'm not pissing off YouTube. Fluff says the Nexus is one of the main go-tos. Game banner for other games. Thunderstore for the Risk of Rain 2, and then there's Lover's Lab, the one that should not be named, which is a premium resource for going even further. But yeah, man, I remember MXR covered one a couple years ago. There's so much weird breastfeeding or breast stuff, milking, a lot of it, like so much. I'm like, how, what is yeah, like, is this the male equivalent of daddy issues? this is a lot. This is like 90% of it. And there's always that. Like, I come back and I watch every now and again one of his videos, and he always has one Harada mod to like validate the thumbnail. And sure as shit, it's always something akin to that. Oh yeah. Which is the Obisi says, Wha? How do you make a Risk of Rain Harada? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Risk of Rain sounds familiar. Red says, for as good as Harada is for mods, I wish they would revamp the out of the inner. Yeah, no, I agree. Whenever I've seen what do you call it, people scroll through it looks terrible. What is good, Max? / Raidnate says, Merry Christmas, Green. Merry Christmas. Max. Raidnate. Goblin. Max is taking up a lot of mental real estate for me. Okay, I've somehow remembered all 3 of his names because I know they come in groups of 3. I will say that did have a moment where I found out that Max was Raidnate and Raidnate was Max, and I was just like, what? I thought you were entirely different people, man. Should be crazy. Nub says, I do think there is a Risk of Rain Harada mod. I agree that the website feels super outdated. There is. / was, actually. This is about... He says, this is about to be the greatest Christmas of all time. Haircut to Beastie going, just dehydrated as hell. Fucking lay it out, man. Jesus. This is... this is / was. If most just model replace and add physics, yeah. If you want your... acid spewing lizard to sport some jiggle physics, or either persuade or both. Persuasion or both is there yet. Lone said you can beat a series, not a bad idea. Or can you beat? Oh, wait, sorry. So the challenge mode series, the challenge VR mode series. Yeah. I hope you guys like that one. Yeah. Nub says, honestly, at this point, I'm kind of used to the Lover's Drake. Red says, I love the lizard mod for Risk of Rain. Lone says, yes. Let me spend these 183k points. Nub says, yeah, there is some dragon. You guys are hard into this. Filth. To clarify, I have modded Sims 4 for Harada, but I don't tend to do it for Skyrim or combat-centered game. I guess that adds up a little bit. If you want a more immersive... Sure. Yeah. Some Risk of... See, my thing is, I would at that point, I'd rather just play a Harada thing. I want it to be all or nothing. I don't want it to be this like in-between thing. At least we're man on a mission with a goal for the end of the night, or we're just trying to enjoy a game. Risk of Rain is a multiplayer, however, I have installed some of those Harada mods for the sake of friends, for a friend. Alright, Fluff has been honest with us, so I think this maybe is actually a friend that wanted to use them so we'd be compatible. So what? So does it affect your visual of the other person, but not their visual of you? Because I know that's how Gary's mod works, I think, or one of those mods works that way, where like you see something, but everyone else sees the other thing as well, or sees their own thing, which is weird, but kind of neat. Your friend is the best. Okay. Fluff says any game that has modding has some, yeah, definitely has something, yeah, like that, yeah. But also, I will say that it has to have modding. Like, yes, there's to me, like, very few people are making like a whole ass code, whatever it is, code to run XYZ, you know? Unless it's just like a stupid popular game, kind of like Skyrim. There was a whole vid explaining how Overwatch Harada basically re-evaluated 3D Harada animation. That'd be hilarious about persons like you get a job at a gaming thing and they're like, wow, we seen you only had like 2 references for what you've done, but this is amazing work. And you're just like, yeah, Yeah. I'm good. Believe you me. I'm great. I'm probably gonna get into making Hana mods for the Unreal Engine, since I can make custom physics and stuff with engine itself and make work for the game. Yeah, you get a lot of commissions in that way. Everyone always says that's like the #1 way to make some good stuff happen monetarily, and that can pay for like a better PC, more of them crazy drivers slash hard drives. I mean, also I'm gonna see if I can snag some hard drives on Boxing Day. Hopefully not too expensive. It's also what has kept the game as relevant, successful compared to others of its kind. Yeah, it is true. A whole new world of gaming had been opened to me, and for that I am truly grateful. Again, Hardcut to Beastie, dehydrated as hell, covered in sweat, just fucking out. If he doesn't live alone, or if he lives with someone, they're gonna happen upon his body, and it's gonna be a rough sell. Okay. DM me though. No. Lone says, to whom for those world if you think that's the reason people want the 3D money. Yeah. For the one thing, Fluff says DNF Duel eventually had a bunch of Harada mods from, funny enough, the first one most was the male grappler, so he was just letting his dog that's strange. Usually if anything, I feel like that's the one thing that is like super skewed, and it's funny because it seems like it always goes harder core in the other direction. Like you can't just get a tame dude equivalent. It's always like, no, you're gonna get choked. Some horrible, or I guess to them great, but Nub says, well, I can give you the site I use, but that's a bit of a tiffy. Fluff says, there's also a really cool mod that replaces DNF Duel launcher characters with Crystal from Star Fox. Of course. Voiced by the original VA herself. But it's just a mod. Okay, so it's not like a Harada mod. Okay, gotcha. I say, did they pay the original voice actor that? Because I feel like they can do that, but it'd be very pricey. She's been supporting a lot of fan projects lately. Another one that replaces Alex in Half-Life 2 with a Crystal, compared with fully revoiced in line. That's so sweet. I imagine she's getting commission though for it, right? It gotta be. But also maybe, I don't know, it depends. I think that's one of the things that seems really sweet, is if you were a part of a franchise in any way, and you were like retired because you made bank, or you just made the right choices, made the right friends, took the right projects. That'd be kind of fire if you were able to like retire at that age. That'd be sick, you know? Or like retire and be like, well, I'm bored as shit. I guess these people want this from me. Sure, like it's fun. I get back into voice acting for a little bit. No one's on me to have to finish within like 2 or 3 weeks of voice acting, so I could take a month or something. It's nice. I don't know if that's. I don't know. I'm not sure how many voice actors are set for life, like ready to retire. So yeah. Now the hydrate. I gotta use the washroom. So yeah. All right, how are we? We're not. Well, we're actually pretty okay. Radiant says, Lamau, I didn't know why I chose different names. Yeah, man. I made them ages ago. I see. For the main mod, I make sure I keep on updating for ROR2 is a moisture upset, solely for the wisp being replaced with dog plane. Okay. Oh, there's a status point. Love while I am just chilling with the fam. Grin just going on about. I'm not going on about nothing. All right, I'm hanging out with the boys, and the boys happen to be on this topic. Okay, I want to talk about ideas for streams. Although this is fun too. Love says, too much mods to play with others on Risk of Rain 2, so if they want a particular mod, or I do, we need them to both. Oh, I see. So yeah, that's similar to, I think. Maybe that is not Half-Life, Gary's mod, where like I think you need both, or else you'll see like an exclamation point confusion thing. Considering a lot of current agents VTubers have content of some sort in the result in their resume before being accompanied, I'd imagine it's not as surprising to companies. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think I heard Snuffy have something in that, or she was drawing Haruda stuff as she got into it. One of absolute, not what do you call it? I will say though, Fluff, it is so it's one of the like the weirder things I can't not notice at this point with the VTuber community, which I'm at this point. I am like a lot. My streamers I watch are VTuber people basically. But one of the things that's apparent, I'll always like go to the suggested or recommended tab, and it is like such a formula. Maybe for everybody, but I notice it within the female VTuber community where it's, to me, it's very like, I keep seeing it, but it's when you're on the come up, you maximize perversion, and when you start to have like sponsors and things, you lower it down a little bit. You go back down to being less, I don't know. But it's such a, I've seen it everywhere, and to me, I see them like, I hear it. They're in the glow up phase. they're just super open about everything, and if anything, leading hard into sexualization, I guess. Which again, doesn't seem like a negative thing. Everyone has their things, etc. I think if anything, they're just being more honest, and then as sponsors start to come in, they're like, let's kind of still have fun, but let's not be too crazy. BC says, my arm. Yeah. Down, dehydrated, passed out, arm just fucking vascular shit popping out. How does that happen? We don't know. Especially in regards to something like Disney and the fact that any artist that drew anything whilst employed, draw, every like artist did some stuff, yeah, for sure. I think it was due to being less physics and body type fiddling to worry about, and the female characters didn't take too long to start showing up for DNF2. Oh, I got you. That makes sense. Not a Haruda mod for as far as I'm aware. However, she's been pretty wholesome supporter of Crystal fans art that she's been sharing on Twitter, and so that's so sweet. That's always nice. I always like when people like just, because it takes so much time to do anything. You know what I mean? And anyone who's tried drawing or do anything art-wise it's so long, and it's even one of those things where like if you're like me, you draw and you're like, I could have done this better. This isn't that great, but it still took you 3 hours. So you're like, it's just like ugh. But so yeah, to me, it's like it's a nice gauge when people see something that's, regardless of what it is, and acknowledge at the very least the time sink and the fact that someone was able to draw something and share it with you is immensely important and kind, and puts a lot of trust on you as well. So to best honor that as best you can, And yeah, she's probably being compensated. Yeah, hopefully. Even just like the validate some time sink into it. Although I wouldn't be surprised if some of the of her recent fan work has been quid pro quo simply for the love of the character, especially since it's something Nintendo might take issue. Yeah, that's true. I bet it's like, throw me something on PayPal and we'll just call it good. So it's like, you hopefully get something out of it. The boy says Beast. Okay, good. We made it to the very good end of it. Can I tell you guys another idea? And I just watch them. Dog Plan is from older meme video. Dog of Wisdom, literally just a Dutch sund in a tiny propeller plane. Okay, I don't know if that comes to mind. Well, Vashoujo is pretty much treading the boundary well after they're joined, and that's part of the point. Yeah, it's true. BC says maximum lewdridge. Yeah, that's what it's again. I wouldn't talk about it unless I didn't see it constantly. like oh, this person on the come up. There it is, making agua faces and whatever it's called, and doing all that shit. I'm like, get after it. I prefer that rather than the weird like, I'm on Twitch and I don't know, man. I'm gonna okay. Right now, before we started the stream, I went to make our title for the stream, and I had one of my recommended. This person with it was weird. I would usually get suggested VTubers, and I get suggested this one person, so I clicked on it, and of course it's a hot tub stream. I'm like, okay, goddamn you, Twitch. And I briefly looked at the chat, and man, it's weird. It's just like I part of me wonders who they are. Because it's like well, I read one of the messages, and it basically was like, I don't know what it was referring to. I think she made a song or like was humming a Christmas melody or something, because he's like, you should. It said, could you please make an album with that voice or something? And I was just like, and she's like, we're about to get into the tub and we are gonna do squats and the pool. And I'm not hating on them, by the way. Like, you know, do what you want to do. I do feel like, if it's honest, I care less. It sometimes feels, it just seems sad. You know what I mean? Like when you see somebody get cucked or something, it's like, I guess you're into this, but I feel bad for you. I don't know why. It hurts me that you're into this, and and that's probably not right. Okay, I don't feel that way much about anything, but there's certain things where I'm like, I'm feeling, you know, secondhand embarrassment. This is secondhand sadness. You know what I mean? Feels like that a little bit. But anyways, I mean, I don't know what kind of fucking horrible pain these people are in or how desperate. It's empathy, all that. All right. Honestly, some of the VTubers that go so hard into it as a primary part of their streams, or at least their most clipped moments, I don't really find as entertaining after the first few times. Yeah, I think that's true. I also think that like, again, I think it's like, it's funny because like people will farm clips. I think that's kind of a thing in the community. Like again, to me, it's like it's much as a thing of somebody being like, hey, I appreciate you for your time. Consider liking and subscribing. Bye. Like, I think if you watch any YouTube, you realize, okay, this is something that people do. It's in the community. It's kind of just normal, and then they just do it. I could see that being like, you don't know you're doing it, but you're possibly doing it. Well, I mean, like farming clips or you know, egging on what could be determined to be your predominant audience, which is males, particularly males who have time to do XYZ, you know, etc. So yeah, and again, like we talked about, there's a specific demographic of dude who has testosterone and whatnot that's like, I'm kind of always passively thinking about this, or if I see it, I get drawn to it. And I don't want to go to horny jail. You know what I mean? I want to stay out of prison, but it's it's like a fucking just pull. Anyway, Rainy says, shit, when we gonna play Tower Fantasy again? Okay, so this is the other thing I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, so I have two things to hit you guys with. And I wanted everyone to chime in with this if it's possible. So I think I felt really, I got piss so badly. Sorry, I didn't want to tell you that about. Damn you alone. Damn hydrates. Anyways, I've been feeling real scattered lately when it comes to what we do on stream. It feels I'm a variety streamer, and it's so much variety that I can't progress in any video game ever. So like, I'm slacking off in Darktide, I'm slacking off in Tower Fantasy, I'm slacking off in VR, which VR is the main thing I actually want to pursue, because I just don't see many streams do it. And I see our streams actually with the FOV pulled back, which I think looks nice. I don't think I see most people do that, but maybe the people hate it, but I think it looks much better. I've razor sharped that in to where you guys can see enough, but still keep things not looking stretched. Anyways, so I wanted to ask you guys, I think we're going to pivot onto doing one stream for one type of thing a week, with exception to this stream. So this stream will always happen. We'll always have our hangout, or recap of the week, whatever you want to call it. But I do want to try to play one game a week. So my question to you guys is, what should that be? So should we do, like when Forspoken comes out, we're probably going to grind the fuck out of that for 1 week. But we have some time until Forspoken comes out, I think. So my question is to you guys, what games should we play in one shot? What I kind of wanted to do is try to finish Boneworks with you guys, like fully send it and complete it. And if we do finish it early, because I think I'm almost halfway through the game, if we do finish it early, then to go into Boneworks 2, and then when we hit Tuesday, reset the week, we'll play another game. If I don't know what we should do. Well, what is your guys' preferred order out of the games that we're currently playing? Which we're playing any VR game. Tell me if you like the Melee game that we were playing, and you wanted to see continuation of that storyline, the Hell Split Arena where we're doing swordplay. If you want to see that, let me know. And let me know what your two games would be. So like the first 2 weeks, what would you pick? For me, what I would enjoy, I think. I would enjoy anything. But what I would kind of prefer is, I think I would go with finish Boneworks, and unless I think we still have a little bit of time before Forspoken. Finish that, and then maybe just do a whole week of Dark Tide, because that's another game that I want to play, and there hasn't been a lot of time. So yeah, complete Boneworks, do a 1 week of Dark Tide, and then maybe do one whole ass week of maybe we should put off that for 1 week. Maybe we should do that. Boneworks, I think we should be still okay with all the events happening in Tower of Fantasy for the next week, and then Dark Tide. Boneworks, Tower of Fantasy, then Dark Tide. And at that point, Dark Tide should have another event going on, probably. But then at that point, Dark Tide might get replaced because Forspoken's that. Let's stop. What do you guys think? What would be your preferred bop thing? Anything VR as a priority. Let's go, Red. Sorry. I'm happy you're dry. Guys, watch him. I'll be back. Ow, fuck. My leg got caught. Okay. Yes, Agrafay. For when we feel maximum thirst. Right. Yes. Part of why I prefer YouTube-based VTubers, sure, there's Haruda moments from time to time, but I really, it rarely feels like a primary thing they're known for. Yeah, I guess to me, the one thing I don't want it to sound like is I don't want it to sound like I dislike it. I just find it, like, to me, because to me it's, again, it sounds like I'm being a perv, but what do you call it? I don't like when people hold back. It's the truth of it. I like if one person's honest about like their sexuality, their what they find funny, their weirdness, their proclivity. Like, that's why I appreciate so much of you guys. Like Fluff, for example, was talking about how, like, like, no, I'm into this, not that, but this. It's awesome to not only be around someone who like, or even for you to feel like you can talk about that in any way and not get like lit up or something like that. That's also nice. So it's a testament to our weird group of people here. But something I deeply like about people who don't hold back, because I think I feel that on some ways, and I also know that others feel that in some ways, and I enjoy that premise, I guess, quite a bit. I'm happy I was able to cultivate a place that people could be who they are regardless of what that is. Alright. Alright. Lon says, anyone ideas you want to hit us with? Yeah, I've got a lot more ideas, but I had a couple things to talk to you guys about. That was one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about sooner, was what game should we mainline for next week? Starting off New Year's, the week of New Year's, what should we get after? Yeah, I would like to do Boneworks. The reason why is because it helps me like map out what would be a fun moment for our series, An Ordinary Day in Factory 966. But also, recently Yev got me a game of Boneworks 2, and I would like to play that. I also would like to try to play a current-ish game, and then go back and play like callbacks. But I did want to like try to get as much I could out of Boneworks, because it's such a good game at a base. Yeah. Aside from like Marina, but she's invited invited it plenty with her original song, a sense of humor and past as an yeah. To me, I guess that's that's a good way to put it too, Fluff. I think for me, when it comes to the whole VTuber thing, with there being like, yeah, it feels like, oh, it's been a certain amount of time, let me be this way, it feels weird. Whereas if someone's just honest about a person saying something to them or about what they like, yeah, there's like a difference between a person being authentic and honest, it seems like, at least maybe it's just a vibe, and then a person like, oh, it's been 10 minutes, time to say something risque. Oh, it's been 10 minutes, let me make a face, let me moan, let me do this, and you're like, all right, you kind of, it's the same thing as the bathtub streamers. It's a little too on the nose for your boy. Your boy needs some smoke and mirrors, okay? Or just being honest and letting the moments happen, I guess. Nub says, honestly, it would have been perfect to play Frostpunk during that cold snap complain that people are dying when it's only 30 in the game while it's 40 outside. That would have been pretty epic. That would have been a hell of a title too. Fluff says Boneworks sounds good since it has a story to complete. Yeah. Well, we will be starting in the halfway point. So we did a stream of it. We played it a little bit. I do need to probably play it more, fast. But there's also like a point where I think I'm going to have to start pivoting my mindset to where, like, sometimes I don't want to complete a game too quickly because I feel like, I'm not looking at you guys enough and like hanging out enough, not present enough in the stream. And the other one is that I also like don't want to go too far ahead and lose all the things I need to do. Like if I have too much understanding of each moment and the levels, I won't remember that cool moment that I could run back to and find. Because actually, again, the series that takes the longest time by far is the which is funny because you wouldn't expect this, but it's funny. It's the An Ordinary Day at Tesla Factory, whatever that takes such a long time to make. The Live Die Repeat one, I think it's just because I've when I get into the next round of it, I think that'll be where it gets harder because I'll be doing melee play. But because each gunplay is gunplay usually in any VR setting, so my gunplay is actually pretty good. I can like hit a headshot from far away and be fine. So long as the game doesn't have ammo conservation, I can like hit it within 2 shots. So that's good. That carries over. But now that we're going into a melee premise of Live Die Repeat, that's gonna be tricky. That's gonna be a little much. Fluff says, Red says anything VR is a priority. As a priority. Fluff says Forspoken is at the end of the January, I believe. So you've got a few weeks. Okay, good. Okay, so we have a few weeks. All right, cool. So we should be able to do that then. I do want to catch up on Tower Fantasy. I still haven't gotten all that quest shit done. We could do that for a stream. There's always events, which I don't want to like not capitalize on, but I also do like playing with like it's one of the few games I enjoy playing with you guys with. The only thing is that sometimes there's not an event to do that with. Like it feels nice when you're all together as a community, like tearing through a boss, checking things off the list. That's nice, but yeah. But if I'm also making streams in which you can control the outcome of the stream by getting me to do something and disabling me in some way, then that in itself can be a way that you can leverage and engage with this thing as well. So that could be something. Red says, I would say Tower Fantasy 2, but that is frustrating to play for me right now. Yeah. Oh, maybe that week time will give them just enough time to patch. Fluff says, I'd say Dark Tide on Friday has worked nicely since that's one of the days I have off that is also a stream. Yeah. We'll play the whole go of it on the next week then, the Dark Tide. Well, again, to me, it would be cool to do like a playthrough when we're also would give me time to maybe make 2 characters and fluctuate. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna have time. Hopefully. But yeah. Fluff says, although to make up for not having a shift for the holidays, I would work Monday through Thursday next week before returning to my regular schedule. I see. Boneworks precedes Bone Lab. Yeah. So I don't know if we might finish Boneworks quick. We could also just download mods, like a Boneworks mod, and like try it out. Yeah, we'll probably do that instead. We'll probably try out that idea. Because I would rather really get an understanding of what the Boneworks game is and the mods are for Boneworks, and then pivot over to to seeing what Bone Lab is. That way I can really see the contrast. The only thing I hope for Bone Lab is I hope the fucking neck is forward. Bone Works is like this. So like when you crouch, you just see this, and my body's not like that, so you get weird brain things happening. So I wish the neck was forward, so that way when I look down, I don't just see a body like right here. Like you're looking down, you see this. Like except my eyes are here, looking at my chest. It's weird. It's not great. Rainate says, I always get the name mixed up. Yeah, no, me. Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, I always same thing. I always say Bonework, Bone Lab. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Honestly, the mostly unfiltered content creator are great, but it's also a case that the VTubers already masked as in some manner, and I'm fine with that. Most streamers put on a performance with a camera because just being normal work wouldn't be entertaining, even if they're their honest self. Yeah, that's an interesting take to me because like. I guess people have different perspective or different objectives. Cause yeah, like I can see some people having the objective of like I want to be as crazy, entertaining, enthusiastic as I can, like be fucking cranking my energy up to 1,000,000. I can see people being like a performer almost, like yeah. But I think of I don't even think of trying to be entertaining or anything like that. I just try to. How do I put it? I care about you guys. Like, my goal is to make you laugh, to make you feel loved, important. Loved is a strong word. I'm not sure if I'm that good at it, but to make you feel valued and cared about, because I do, and to create an environment in which you guys can feel like you can be yourself and be a part of a place, and for us to have things to do that are worth doing and fun to do. I'm not that last part. I haven't really been able to achieve very well because yeah, there's just been too many things to manage. But now I'm going to try to start to cultivate a place. I guess to me, I think of I'm a showman, and like I guess I'm trying to be like a friend that can make you feel important, valued, etc. Because you are. And then the third thing would be to be a hostess. I'm a hostess. That's the goal. But I don't think of myself as being like, how can I be the funniest fucking person on the planet? Yeah, as much as I'm sure that's great. I'm sure that's a good, like, all these are valued. If you want to be entertaining, if you want to be good at games, all these things. But that's not where my brain goes. Maybe I should. I don't know. But I'm also fine with fine if you'd like to put Darktide on the side for now, since there's not a ton going on for it. As I said, Fridays are the only days that can coincide with my day off of the stream, and if you'd rather have Sunday to be a co-op stream with Tower Fantasy or something else, go for it. Well, no, to me the main thing is like I thought about the same thing where I was like, oh well, like I did the thing where I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna do 1 week of one game, okay, but I kind of like our Tower Fantasy Thursday thing. Okay, maybe we'll keep Tower Fantasy. And I thought, oh, today we're doing the Hangout. I really like the Hangout. Okay, so then maybe we'll do the Hangout too. Then we only have Thursday and Tuesday and Saturday. It's 3 days. I'm like, I'm not sure that's really much. I'm like, gugh. So I was kind of like, nah. We might scale, but I do like the idea just for like a little bit, even just 2 weeks, just a test, to see what it would be like to just fully send one thing. Yeah. Because to me, I think it'd be fun doing like because I feel like that would be where I'd be able to. Because my whole feeling is I want to be able to make substantial ground in a thing, like in a game. Like Darktide, I feel like I've been just chipping off like little nuggets of it, and I want to genuinely get to like level 20. I want to genuinely level these characters. Although I will say Darktide does feel like I don't know. It does feel like it's missing that one aspect for me where I want to make a character. Like I want to build a build. I want to have things that I leverage and lean on big time. I don't know if I really have that. Yeah, it's hard to describe. It's not that it's a great game, but I don't feel like the build nut in my brain is getting twisted. Also, she's just chilling in a pond? Okay. I just tuned into that. She got some thick-ass eyebrows, almost as thick as your boys. I got caterpillars on my eyes. Lone says Boneworks, yes. Boneworks, and then if we wanted to catch up, Actually, no, we won't even do Motor Lab. We'll save that for like another week shot of it. But I do think you guys could use a break from the physics heavy engines and such. I don't know when we'll do Into the Radius. I don't even know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys want to look at like anything the reason why I'm so fucking scared of Into the Radius. Watch any video of it. It looks awesome, but fucking a lot. I keep mentioning it, and I think no one really gets it because I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. But it's like a hella realistic, kind of like a survival game, but with like Kojima dark husks that exist when you're trying to go get loot. So it's freaky. The atmosphere in that game seems insane. Like it'll be impossible not to feel like you're there, which is it's too much immersion for your boy. I'm not sure it'll be a good stream game either because it's so intense. Anyways, Num says also just to have you you can stream literally anything you want on the Discord, but if you do, you have to do some prep work before. Hands, so not recommend. Yeah, no, I think if we what do you call it? Bolty wants me to watch what do you call it? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on stream with him basically as a community, or just wants me to watch it. I thought it'd be a good idea for us to watch it together. Just having a time code and like a tiny little slit where you can see like a feathered out, very low opacity clip of the show, so you guys can kind of tell where we are, but that doesn't get picked up and also isn't it's transformative enough to where you're not devaluing what the original thing is. So yeah, that would be fine. But that's got a lot of work for me to tweak those knobs, and right now I like the idea of us that may be 2 weeks away. I better tell Bolty that because I feel bad every time he comes into the stream. I know it's a meme, but he's like, day 5 of asking Grin to watch JoJo. And I'm like, listen, come back in 2 weeks. And I'll take care of you. Then remind me, and then I'll be good. Discord stream is tricky since there's a limit on how many participants you can have for watching. And since it mostly relies on using voice chat, it's finicky too. Yeah, I feel like it would be better for us just to... have the time code up there, like even if we were just sitting here and this was just converted to a tiny little slit and there was like a code up there of what our timestamp is, I think that would work. I think. Also, I don't think we need a server boost honestly for it. A boost honestly for it? Yeah. I don't know if I'll do the whole VR stream or the not VR stream. I don't think I'll do the Discord stream thing. Like it's a whole other domain to get into, and I'm like, I can barely manage the things I got. I give you 8.5 for all 3, Grin. All 3 of what? All 3 of what? What? What does that mean? What was that referring to? I give you an 8.5 for all 3, Grin. What does that mean? I've seen JFJ's highlights of it. I believe it's like VR version of yeah, that's a good way to put it. Stalkers, yeah. The only thing that people mention, which I think you just tell, like if you watch something with no commentary, like I was watching a reviewer talk about it, and he like gave a moment, just like a slice out of the game, where like he has a tiny pistol and he's out in the middle of like an open field, and you just hear wind, and like just this bone-chilling silence with wind and it just feels cold, and it's just like the lighting is grimace, and then you see like these shadow twitching morphing things off to the side, and I'm just like nah. And then it's funny because it's exactly the game I want, which it's hyper detailed. You can like clean your guns, you have to individually load a magazine and then head out. You have to clean the barrel of your gun. You literally have to take a tube, a piece of tissue, put it on the tube, stick it in your gun a bunch of times, take it out, take a toothbrush, clean your individual gun stock, take polish, spray it, rub it on it's a whole intricate nightmare, which seems actually fun if you're into it. But the atmosphere takes it from being like, here's a fun what's that game that was like a zombie survival game that people loved? It's on Xbox. I can't think of it. They ruined it by making it too story heavy and not realizing that the main thing people like is the base building and stuff. Anyways, it was like that, which was like fun and animated and cartoony. and they ruined it by just like increasing the atmosphere, making it a horror game. And you're like, God damn it, I just want like that, but like not with all the fear. I just want to like be a pack rat in the apocalypse and grab shit, sort it, clean my shit, organize my shelves, go get more stuff until I'm literally just packed in my little warehouse with stuff. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. For a full of anomalies and mutants, but rewarding gameplay loop. Is it really that scary? I wouldn't say it's scary. It's atmospheric, and that leads itself to being more believable in the moments that are fearful. Like, the thing that killed me about the puppet game we played wasn't the jump scares, wasn't the fear. It was the atmosphere about being in a dark room for like 3 hours, like with a tiny light moving through it. It's just jarring. I'm not necessarily scared, a little bit freaked out, I guess. It's just it's taxing. It's mentally taxing to be like fumbling about in the dark for 3 hours. So that to me was not enjoyable. But in that game, it's same thing. It's like if you're constantly like fucking looking over your shoulder, I don't know if I need to live with that level of anxiety for 3 hours. I think that's why the gameplay loop works so well, is because you're so taxed by having looted in this crazy apocalypse that's super atmospheric and weird. And like anxiety inducing, that when you get home you're like, oh, I can finally clean my guns and sort my loot. And you're like, that's an outlet actually, which makes sense, the balance. Raiden says, I'm gonna head out, gonna be doing some things with the fam. Enjoy Raiden and have a lovely holiday. Thank you so much for stopping by. What's good, Shadow? Shadow says, State of Decay. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Yeah, State of Decay. Man, I was so disappointed with State of Decay 2. To me, it was like one of those things where it's like, why? This was like the one thing that I didn't hear a lot of people talk about in State of Decay. I heard one people talk about one choice you make with like the Hicks with guns versus everybody else. You can make a bad choice, but you get gun access basically if you're able to make that choice in the first game. But State of Decay, man, I think State of Decay 2, where it's like, you know what people loved in this game was anxiety and like the absolute horror of having to make a bad choice, because it was like, no. You're going to give this person a zombie cure, but undoubtedly somebody else will die. Like, it's not like, oh, you can go over here and get another zombie cure. It's like, no. Somebody's got to die, and you're going to be responsible for it. And I'm like, this is not what I want in my video game. I do not want to fucking feel anxiety in a cartoony game where you can pop heads and hit people with weird things. I shouldn't say nobody enjoyed the survival strain of choices in State of Decay. I just think the thing that I got out of it a lot was the survival loop of, like, foraging and like grabbing stuff and like building up your base and then going out and grabbing stuff. Like, that was the loop I loved. I didn't care for the like, here's a moment where you get to feel like shit for 10 minutes from having experienced a story. Yeah. Anyways, I got some more VR ideas to throw at you guys. We did that. Another one this is kind of like a side VR thing. I would like to experience what VR multiplayer is like. There's a game called Val. I think it's called Val. And it looks very cool. But it would be really interesting to see, after all of my live, die, repeat training with gunplay and whatnot, how would I actually do in a VR game? Now, that may sound boring to you because it's just like, oh, you're basically playing Modern Warfare with VR. Okay. There are games called Rumblers, where you're basically doing like earthbending, but it's all about like attacking forms, so like, martial art forms and stuff like that. You have to nail these forms in order to get an earthbending functionality. So in order to like summon a pillar and throw it forward, you have to literally do a fucking jujitsu crazy weird symbol thing. A boulder will appear, and then you need to do another move, concussing it forward, smashing into an enemy. So it's a lot, and people get like completely gassed out by it. It's so exhausting because you need to nail these forms. You need to actually put oomph in it in order to actually have it happen. So that could be fun. Just like jumping into a weird multiplayer VR game that I'm sure none of you guys have ever seen, and also how weird that would be to experience with me. I think would be actually pretty interesting. So that could be fun. The earthbending game seems good. That one. But then there's ones like Val, which I think would need, it's just like basically Call of Duty meets VR. I mean, you gotta reload manually. There's a lot of variables there, but we could do the same challenge mode thing we have in the thing where like, okay, you guys redeemed a channel point that made me not be able to use my assault rifle, so I have to use pistol only. You guys make me only able to use one gun, so my stabilization goes through the window, etc. You guys could make me close one of my eyes, and yeah. So that could be a thing that we could play with and amp up the community engagement aspect of you guys being able to take part in this weird thing. So that's the other idea that we have, which is the multiplayer VR games. I need to come up with a better name for that, but it's just basically taking our other ideas and introducing it and plugging into multiplayer specific VR games, which to me, that's interesting, because I feel like if you did that, you might actually become quite proficient in other ways. Like, you're actually fighting human beings. You're not fighting AI that are derpy. You're fighting actual human beings that are like outsmarting you as well. But you actually are, your reflexes and time to react aren't like a mouse flick. It's a genuine prime aim shoot. Trust in your overall perception of where you're shooting and hitting. It's like, or popping a grenade, chucking it down a hallway, waiting, pushing in as soon as it blows up, that kind of thing. Like, the weird, like, takes away the friction of a mouse, but also adds so much other complexity that I think that would be pretty interesting if you could play in that way. Anyways, yeah, did I drink my coffee? I did. And then this is what I got to explain a little bit more. I'll give you guys two ideas, and I'll ask you, and I'll see what you guys think about them. This one, I've talked to you guys about before. I think it's called, it's long form adventure is what the format is. But that one would be the one that I think I talked to you guys about, where we basically, I wanted to do a Let's Play of Skyrim, but I didn't want it to be boring, because I think everyone has done a Let's Play of Skyrim. So I thought, okay, if we do a VR Let's Play of Skyrim, that's interesting. But if we did a VR Let's Play of Skyrim with mods that make the game look prettier, give you the ability to literally like choke slam people and grab people by the hand and like drag them places, that would be pretty cool. But what's even cooler than that is downloading mods that help you get magic, because VR, anything that's not archery and magic is pretty shitty in that game. Like, most melee combat devolves into this. You're just smashing this and then you're stabbing the shit out of enemies. So we could do that. Basically download some cool like spell mods where we could like force choke somebody, throw them off a mountain, summon forth like pixie imps to rip apart enemies, shit like that. And then I thought we could have it even more fun, and I could, before we start the Let's Play, scatter like unique companion mods throughout the areas of Skyrim, and then like we would basically go out and get those companions. And that would be the premise, is like, it's the series name would be called like Overlord in real life, I guess, or something like that, something that would make sense. And basically it would be you sitting back, maybe giving your companions buffs as they're just demolishing Draugr and like bandits and just wrecking shit. And then you also get to experience Skyrim in a first-person different perspective, which I thought could be fun. But that could be that's like a long form adventure where we start with part 1, 2, 3. And stuff like that. We also could do something cute and like add a mod each stream, which could be fun in that instance. So outside of this idea, if we went into like do a Let's Play of, there's a game coming out that I actually want to show you guys. It's a VR game, but it seems very similar to like Half-Life or Boneworks, essentially, like a PhysX engine type of game, but with a long form campaign. But if we were to do a campaign Let's Play, we could download a mod and add a mod each stream, and maybe even you guys could suggest mods that we would download and have in the next stream if I can get it to work, which could be a fun like 1, 2, 3, 4 thing. And yes. So what do you guys think about that one? The event. Did I specify? Let me catch up on this. Let me see. I don't know what I wrote down. Yeah, that's basically what I put down. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more ideas for our streams. Too many formats. Let me catch up on chat. Lone says, when you said you're a showman, a friend, and one more thing I forgot. But I give you, I see an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks, man. I try. It's not a 10 yet, so hopefully I got plenty to improve upon. But thank you. Fluff says, funny. Just checked my friend's activity on Steam, and one of them just picked up 3 VR games, including Into the Radius. Yeah, man, it looks good. It looks super satisfying. Like, if you weren't making content, it looks like the game you would play if you wanted just to have a really cathartic time. Because like I seen a video of a person on the VR community saying the most satisfying thing ever, and it's him just like cleaning a gun in the game, taking like a little tiny toothbrush and like scrubbing out all the dirt, cleaning the tube, polishing it, reloading each individual bullet into the mag, clipping it in, grabbing the gun, setting it off to the side, taking the shotgun, doing the same thing. I was just like, that does look cathartic. Also, the sound effect is so good, like he's scrubbing it. Yeah, which a lot of people get a kick out of the Power Wash Simulator, which I think is kind of like that, except different. The only thing that got me excited, man, is if that developer ever makes like a fantasy game with like enchanting, potions, runes and shit, to, or like even smithing. Like if Bethesda or anyone ever made like a VR exclusive game with the same framework as Skyrim and whatnot, and just got them to like do the nitty gritty of like, okay, well, how if you did want to like make a fucking super crazy good sword, because that was the thing that's always hilarious, because in Skyrim the reason why smithing has to be scaled down is because you can just make a fuck ton of daggers, you can just make a fuck ton of enchantments, but if it took like 10 minutes to make like a perfect gorgeous knife, you could scale up the price of that knife exponentially because it was worth the time sink. In fact, you'd have to make enchanting and smithing even worth it. So that's really interesting if they scaled that appropriately, I think. But yeah. But if those devs got together and made and bolstered out those mechanics, whew, what a fun game. Funny just Fluff says SOD2 had a co-op at least, which was nice. SOD2 was that. Fluff says, and they dropped the real-time clock nonsense. I play an MMO or a gacha game if I wanted to be stressed out over daily check-in stuff. Yeah, that's true. It's true. Those are those types. Well, you do play MMOs a little bit, don't you? Shadow says, yeah, the earth-bending game looks super sick, yeah. Lone says, also Grin, I'm almost finished Spy X Family. Are you, man? What was the other game I seen that was also on the list of things that were near that? Like a game that was on the same caliber to me as Spy X Family that I was like, oh shit. It's another like wholesome, just kind of hangout anime. It's not like a big journey isekai thing. I can't remember what it's called. God damn it. But are you enjoying it? Is season 2 as good as season 1? I feel like if anything, it's got to be better. Because like you've already set up the pace, and now you're just gonna have fun with the characters you love to bits. I did see it on Funimation Dubs. There's like a new person that adores Lloyd. I think she adores him because of his legendary status as like an agent, not necessarily like Yor does as like a person, I guess. But I can't wait to watch season 2. But man, what is it? I have so many of those shows where I'm like, oh man, I have like another one of the versions of Spy X Family, which is like that nice hang, just a nice hang type of anime, not too crazy, real fun. Yeah. The Shadow says Skyrim would be fun. Gotta collect them all style. The shooter game could be really nice with the community modify aspect. Yeah. That'd be a fun way to make it fun. Cause that's the biggest thing. It's like you can't just. I wouldn't want to just do something to do it. You know, a lot of people I think look at streaming in a weird way of like, well, I'm just gonna play games and stream it. It's like, well, now I want to create I want to be like a hostess. I want to create an environment in which we can both have fun and engage. The issue is that sometimes you create that environment and nobody comes to streams or no one's interested in participating. You're like, well, I guess we're just playing a game. So that's a little tricky. Shadow says Skyrim would be fun. Oh, right, fun. Fluff says State of Decay 2. State of Decay. I see that's what they're referring to. Gotcha. Fluff says not to the extent where I feel pressure to play every day or risk losing everything because of the real-time degradation system. Yeah. You want to be a hostess? Isn't that what it's called? I guess it's very different. I think there's like a hostess in like a sexual context. My whole thing is like when your mom is catering to a lot of people in the house and being like, hey, I'm hosting, I'm making sure everyone's taken care of. I'm making sure to come up with games and fun things for us to do. I'm not a prostitute, guys. I hate to break it to you. Okay. All right. The other one I have, okay, so I have, it's more like three more ideas, but yeah, one of them you already know, which is the idea of live, die, repeat. Basically, the idea of like I need to make that take less time so that we would just do it on stream. So we would just push through a level. I think, unlike the VR multiplayer thing, how this could be interesting is ideally I'd be getting better each time. So you wouldn't just be watching someone be shit. You'd be watching someone like perfectly aim around a corner, knock two people's heads, move in, cut through this, cut through this line, punch into the next area. Then we would slow down and brainstorm about what the craziest way we could do to complete this encounter would be, kind of thing. So that could be fun and stuff like that. I think the execution would be satisfying to watch, even if you're, because at most streams people just pop in for 10 minutes and then say what's up, how good, hang for a little bit, and they leave. So that would be the perfect atmosphere to be like, oh fuck, yeah, like, you know. But if you're there the whole time, it would get annoying seeing me do the same thing over and over again. But for the people who are just popping in, I think that'd be a nice change of pace and would help me make videos because it would be a little bit less bad. But yeah, that was the idea I told you guys about a long time ago for our streams. This one is kind of hard to describe, but for our streams, I wanted to come up with an idea that's quite deep into the weeds. So if it's just like an ordinary day at Factories 966, is very RP kind of heavy. Like it's just kind of a premise that's fun to play with and goof around in and create bits in, I guess. This one is called Prompt of Madness, this idea format, which the basic point of it is we would determine a POV of a character that would be interesting. So very similar to the Thor idea I told you guys about like don't go into Thor's castle and it's just a video of us brutalizing everybody with a hammer essentially in VR. Well, this one I thought it'd be funny, which is we could have a stream name called Pennywise Arrives in Skyrim, or I could download a bunch of weird jester costumes in Skyrim, and then just I had this really weird idea. Well, how it'd be funny if I just hard cut to us in a stream, and I'm looking outside of a sewer, because in Skyrim there's like a bridge area with a fountain, and then there's a sewer, and if I made my character smaller to where I'm looking up at most things. And I just thought it'd be so funny to start the stream looking out at like a sewer in Skyrim with a mod that like darkens it, and then for me to like be like to embrace the goblin and just go like and then like for there to be a kid and like peer around a corner for there to be that fucking kid in Skyrim town who's always talking about how he's getting bullied, and then there's a mod in Skyrim that also allows you to have physics to then as a tiny little jester goblin to grab the child by the leg and drag him into the sewers. Would be a really funny stream. It's so fucking weird. And we could have fun with that. And if there's any other character like that, we could do one where like I can't think of it, like Jason Voorhees. We could do anything that's not a horror icon. Some sort of weird premise to build up and then just hit it as soon as we go. We could come up with shit, and I could also say like Pennywise demons in the mine are talking to me, and then you guys could just like the other idea, conduce get me to do things basically. And it could be like weird. I could download a mod for the text and make it look all weird and distorted, like your brain is fucking with you, I guess. And that could be a fun stream. So the idea is Prompt of Madness, which is you'd basically come up with a pretext, like rules, like you're Pennywise, you're in Skyrim, embrace the madness, basically. Let yourself just go nuts. You could be, what do you call it? Another one is like if there is something in pop culture at the time, like I think like bendy was a weird thing at a certain point. Or you could do the same thing, just like weird things that you could play off of that we could attach our community and the weird premise of the stream to pop culture at itself. You know, if I seen a video really well done, which was they merged the Backrooms mod with a Huggy, I think his name is, from Poppy's Playtime. That weird blue long-armed fuck. They merged two mods together and made like a really goofy, fun video, which I thought was such an interesting and creative idea. So I thought it's a whole format that you could just do on that. So, but yeah, that was one of the ideas. Is Prompt of Madness. Host and hostess. The former is a male. the neutral, and the Latin is to refer to female. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I see. I always thought hostess was, yeah, kind of, still kind of as a kid. I don't, when I see a host, it sounds too masculine. Or like a hostess to me is like, I picture my mom who, like, as a child planned like the most crazy, over the top, brilliant, fun things for us to do. And I think that's as funny as it is. I think it makes more sense for like the person I think of when I think of hostess is like a super crazy plan. When I think of host, I think of less, less of a good time than hostess, popping off, going nuts, coming up with all the ideas. Shadow says, for the shooter game, you might be able to pull someone to play with you as well. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, to me, that'd be interesting though. To me, it'd be. I feel like that'd be my computer is already in a place where we're probably gonna need to make like a donation goal or a sub goal that's just like, hey, by the way, if we can make a dent to this in 3 years, that'd be nice. Because if I could level up my PC to actually handle the VR strain of it, because right now it's like barely cutting it, and even then I'm kind of taxing it in a big way. That'd be nice. So yeah. But we'll see what 2023 holds. 23 is my favorite number, so hopefully it's a good year. Fluff Lone says, you're talking about Fiona. Her code name is Nightfall, and she's a Kurd, but no. About Spy X Family. You're talking about Fiona. She's a person with that, but no, Grin. She loved Lloyd, like almost to the point of being yandere. Okay, interesting. I didn't know they would do that. They got two love interests. That's funny because people really love Yor. I've seen a thing recently which made sense. In the comment to one of those videos I watched of Spy X Family, they talked about like, I wish they would show Yor's work more. And then a person in the comments said, if they actually showed Yor's work, I don't think people would like her as much. And I agree and I disagree. I think I agree, honestly. If you're watching like Yor, who is so like kind of like clueless and cute and fun, but if you're watching her like kill a family, it's like, I don't know if in the show they specify that it's not that bad. It sounds pretty bad. It sounds like she's just like, yeah, murking people. Yeah, they're high profile agents, but it's not like they don't have kids, and they're not like, are they all completely bad? Or yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're all horrible monsters. That'd be nice. I hope that's the case. But I have the feeling that the whole point is like, Yor is like the world's greatest assassin. I don't know if you get that name by discriminating. You know what I mean? Fluff says, do it. Do it. Makes me think. Skyrim VR being a slasher. Yeah, that could be fun too. Yeah, to me, it's like a fun premise. Like the mind prompt of madness is the premise of that, I guess, is to create rules and to couple those rules with an icon, I guess. Or an experience, I guess. Yeah, but you need some rules to play, or else it's too finicky. There's no texture if there's no rules. That's why if we're Pennywise and we're a tiny little goblin man fucking shit up, at least that's some pretext to where people can understand it and like get on it essentially. But if we're just, I think that's more interesting than in some ways the like, you can control what I do. Like that's kind of interesting, but after you see 5 streams, I think you would get bored. Whereas if we could constantly interchange these moments, like there's usually always mods of things happening within pop culture, whether it's like a schmexy character or like I remember I seen a bunch of things in Skyrim which was like the Virgin Killer sweater at the time, or you could have fun in these weird ways. I don't think we'll go down that road, but yeah, well, maybe in different ways we talked about beforehand. But yeah, I approve of the creativity. That says, because of Hostess is literally phone me. But in concept, you want to be good host for others, just letting you know. That it's a misconception given that they're not. That makes sense. It's 50-50 on that yours describes some of her jobs and not pretty. That's what people were saying. It was like there's a part in Spy X Family where Yor goes on some excursions essentially and they're not pretty, so then people just extrapolate that, well, if it's this bad that they're showing us, what are they not showing us? And yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. I understand why they don't show too much of yours thing, because it's like, yeah, it's probably rough. Like, or she's like, oh my god, I'm so happy that I have a family. Meanwhile, she's slaughtering families. Like, I don't know. Yours still great. Still love yours, but yeah. All right. What the fuck did I write for this? Oh, right. The other idea I had for the same prompt of madness was if Mike Tyson were isekai, which was basically download a mod for Skyrim that gives you beat 'em up stuff. And then the thing, I'm not sure if I could pull this one off. If I could talk like him, that might be, I might get canceled, but I think it'd be funny. It'd be funny if the title of the stream was Mike Tyson gets isekai, where we talk like Mike Tyson and only punch things. Would be quite the rule and quite the pretext. Anyways, but that's the idea, that like the prompts and shit. Anyway, I don't know. I think I might get canceled. But anyways, the last one I have. Oh, sorry. Then I just have like new VR game hype, which we could do, maybe play a game for, like, that's what I think we might do if there's ever that's what we're gonna do with Forspoken. It's not a VR game. Probably just play it for 1 week straight, gun it, get as much of an understanding of the game we can, see if we like it or not, see if there's any bones there, and then stop. Kind of like what we do with God of War. Maybe not as intense though, not for a whole week, just like whenever we stream. But the last one I have for you guys, the last idea I came up with, which was, I'll just read it to you guys. Community, culture, environment, possibility, and interest. Woof. I was kind of me being like, fuck it. I can't really come up with a name for this. Okay, so this one's basically like building off of something of innate interest, I guess is what I could say. Which is, for instance, that's one of the things I felt like when I was playing when I seen Gunman Contracts, I don't think people played it in the way that I was hoping that they would, which is just play it like, I want to see the best run you have of going through this encounter. Same thing with the when I seen Boneworks or a Bone Lab, I wish I would have seen people like use the physics in a more creative way, like grab someone and throw themselves off a building and then like smash them to the ground, because there's no fall damage, but there is for the enemies. So stuff like that could get fun. I think I did see a mod where somebody used like a Master Chief like saber to like mess people up, but the idea is, could we make a series or a stream where we would show people the best aspect of the VR experience that I wish others would show me? What did I write here? Yeah, like, how hard is it to get good at Rumblers? That's a game with like earthbending. Like, how long would it take for you to get substantially good in Rumblers? This would be what if we'd play Rumblers for a week, us seeing how good we can get in a week. And I could even make a video on the Mind Palace of Madness channel with that same premise about gating each stream, which could be fun. Another idea I thought, which could fit into the same archetype, is how hard is it to get good at earthbending, essentially, which I think is a better title. What else did I say? I said getting good at Rumblers until my leg gets, fun title. There's the other one, is the MMA versus swords, which I think in Blade and Sorcery or in Hellsplit Arena, could you beat every type of sword on the hardest difficulty of Hellsplit Arena with melee? I think, yeah, I don't think it would work on that one, because I don't think you have enough punch to actually do damage, but yeah, also I don't think there's any brace that you could like block with guards. Anyways, is it possible to do something like that? And of course, the most satisfying part of Into the Radius stream, which would be me like cleaning guns and upping the volume like ASMR for a whole ass time, for a whole ass stream. But that one was more the one I was ending my idea session. I just threw a bunch of shit at there, like, okay, these would be fun. I don't know where I'd put them or how they would format, but ladies and gentlemen, those were all my ideas. To recap them, let's do that real quick. Let's recap them, because I think Shadow just got here. The first one is called VR multiplayer modded VR adventure. We also have a VR challenge mode. We also have VR multiplayer games, which could be adjusted for you guys having power and kneecapping me in some ways while we try to kick ass in multiplayer. The other one is long form adventure, which I described as just basically a long form adventure with rules and premises that give it texture, I guess. Automaton, which is the one I think you guys would the most kick out of. Automaton / Devil on My Shoulder, which is where you guys, I just play a VR game, I do whatever you guys want, and I try to survive as long as I can. Prompt of Madness is the one where we completely embrace the chaos and just RP in a weird way with a lot of shit going on. If there's a new VR game, we can play it. That's just kind of baseline format. And then a community, playing something in the interesting way that I wish others would play it, but streaming it and stuff like that. And the last one is Live, Die, Repeat, which is to play a level over and over and over again until we can create the most satisfying, best completion of said level. And yes. Nub says, I like the bonk horrors idea. Is definitely wrote down. Yeah. That one's fun. That one's a part of our modded adventure one we could do, where there's a lot of like harder mods for Blade and Sorcery, because of course there is. And if we download a bonk mod, that would be a really fun pretext of like, how long can we survive from these horrors? Vlone says it's a 50-50 on the your describing jobs are pretty. Not pretty. Alone says, I think they show more in the manga, but still not that much. Yeah, which I think is for the community's betterment, I guess. Out of all the ideas I yelled at you guys, though, what were your favorites? Nub seems to be the modding adventure one, which also just has a lot of story implications. But yes. Fluff says, I became an earthbender. Real, not clickbait, gone viral. Yeah. Well, again, it's weird. All of the ideas in some ways have to. It's actually cool because creating a format or like a premise or like rules in a way is like creating a title. And if you have a good idea, the title is strong enough. Like earthbending in real life is pretty good title I seen on YouTube when it talked about rumblers, which I thought fucking great title. It describes rumblers at a T. And yeah. Nub says, all right, read that. Lone says, I second the idea. the batting off things. Fluff says, out of context, that'll be try not to get banned challenge. Yeah, a little bit. Bulky horn. The redeem points idea was probably my favorite. Which one? There's the redeem points that function around kneecapping me in multiplayer games, and then the one that I thought you guys would like more, which is Automaton, which is you guys just. I don't think that one would be channel points. I think that one would just be play, but it would be for a set time. So it'd be like for a minute I have this effect applied. I'd hopefully have like 30-second gap on redeeming that and stuff like that. Definitely be a streamer to iron out the kinks. Also I have couple more things. Actually, I think we might be ready to rip here. We might be ready to wind down, but I think I cover everything. I want to say this. Lyra's abilities in Tower of Fantasy are cracked. I don't know what's happening, but they hit really hard, like more than Ruby's in weird ways. Surprising, awesome, nice. Talk to you guys about what game we should what game we should stream for 1 week straight. I think it's looking like Boneworks until it's completed, or no, just for 1 week, and then probably Tower of Fantasy, and then Dark Tide. Hopefully there'll be an update at that point, and then we'll get into it. And then we'll probably follow up with Forspoken, and we might squeeze in one, depending on what Yev says, who bought me the Bone Lab this week. Well, yeah, depending on what that is. Yeah. Yeah. I asked you guys. No, I didn't ask you guys this. What are you guys hoping to get for Christmas? I want to know. Curious. Automaton, yeah. That was one. Yeah. I'm not sure if we'll do the point redeem though. I feel like that one we might just go with whoever says something first. You know what I mean? Wherever I see, I glance over the chat, I see something, I'm like, got it. This. Yeah, because the point redeem, because there'd be a lot of constant point redeem. I think we'd melt the Streamlabs point redeem system. So yeah. We did everything. We did everything with the. This is a deep cut. I bought a sandbag. I filled it up. I need to introduce a filler into the sandbag so that it keeps its mass Don't know what to use. I'm sure you don't know what to do either. But I was gonna ask, but then we talked for too long, so it was just an excuse for me to vent. But it's fine. um, Lone says, oh, redeem points. Shadow says, I think watching Rumblers would be a pretty fun experience. Dude, that one scares me a little bit because it's so exhausting. It looks so exhausting. Yeah. Lone says, it's automaton. Red says, Lyra is super fun. Much better than Cole. Yeah, man, I was surprised by how hard she hits. Like, I didn't level her up that much, and I used her E skill, and it just pops people. I'm like, shit, okay. That's not bad. Shadow says, heresy. Why heresy? Red says, we don't do Christmas anymore. Have not for years. It's not the same without fam. I see, I gotcha. Well, what did you get yourself this year that would have been a Christmas present? Would have been like a nice little, not a Christmas present, a holiday gift, let's say. Also, ladies and gentlemen, here is what my head looks like wearing this. Oh my god. Why the fuck did I put gel in my hair today? Just compress it even more. Oh, that's looking rough. It's looking real rough. Oh, that's so not great. 'Tis the season, all that. Well, fuck. It fell. Oh no, it's in the fucking spider webs behind my chair. Fucking yuck, dude. Anyways. Yeah, I think ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm off to go hang out. Maybe do some voiceovers for some Deathverse clips. Which, by the way, I think I fucked up. I think in the one of the Deathverse videos, I said, hey, next video will be multiplayer, and then I downloaded all the clips Sloan gave me, and there was so much more combat that's awesome. I want to show it. So I'm like, fuck. But yeah. But yeah, I gotta do voiceovers for that. And then I'm gonna play for me, nobody else, although maybe I'll use some of the clips for Live Die Repeat. But I wanted to just, for me, play Hellsplit Arena. Sword play, get sweaty, all that. What do you guys have to do for this holiday day? Or want to do, or going to do, I should say. Also, counter-side update. I'm so close to getting my free Holomyth skin, and I might drop 45 for the skin depending on which one I get. You can just do a little bit of splurging for your holiday gift for yourself. Red says, I'd like a new GPU. My GTX 180 needs to retire. Yeah, man. I hope in the next 2023, I hope 2023 holds no more the crypto fucking hellscape shit. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I think the crypto stuff is starting to scale back a slight bit. I think there's also in the long term, it might have actually been incredibly beneficial to the current bills that have been passed in America and other places where they're just making better and better cards, and looking at how most of the future looks like AI is gonna do most shit mentally for us is it's yeah. Hopefully we can get a gaming GPU, CPU, this and that, quick, or that are cheaper and better and more efficient. Hopefully, because 2020 and onward was horrible for GPU stuff. Nub says, I hate you. I watched some YouTube video of Rumbler, and now is all I'm looking at for the next 2 hours. Yeah, man. It looks sick. It looks so tiring, though. The guy who I watched describe it, who's an amazing VR reviewer, he always has like a segment where he big brain screams his members out, which is such a good idea. But it's just a lot. It's just a constant. Actually, before we end it, one thing. This probably will get my video claimed, but fuck it. I wanted to show you guys the upcoming games that are VR games. I already watched this video, that's why it's here. These are all the VR games coming in 2023. Vertigo, which apparently people are hyped about, looks kind of neat. Apparently this is a game there's Vertigo 2, which is like modding and stuff like that. It looks like it's all mod. It's basically, people say it's the equivalent of Gary's mod. It's also very similar to Boneworks. It looks really neat and very different. Like Boneworks kind of has some chill. And then there's Saints and Sinners, which is, by the way, already out. I want to talk to you guys about this. Should I play it right now? I wanted to play the first one before I play the second one. There's so many things to do. I definitely like the idea of like fully sending a video game for a week, because just it would be cool to like complete or even just give a good college try. Put it with the jank and the pain, even if it's there in games like this. But yeah. Also, a game that Fluff told me about, I probably need to buy because it looked good too. I watched a video of that guy who he sent me. This one also looks great. Behemoth. This is one we've seen on E3. This one's made by the same people who made Saints and Sinners, which is like a super acclaim. So that's nuts. I didn't know how good that was gonna be, but if it's made by those people, I trust. Yeah. I'm probably going to sleep. I helped with some last minute setup, but I can't ruin my sleep schedule too much when I got to work on Monday. Num says I have a 2070 Super, so I can go for a few more years to Fluff says I'll be slowly saving up for a proper desktop computer. Let's go. At least a new laptop if I can't find anything else, as my current laptop GPU is solid, but CPU is hitting bottlenecks lately. Yeah, that's how I am with with VR. My top two would be Mori and Amelia. I hope you can get one or two. Oh, for the thing in the game you're playing. Gotcha. Yeah, I hope you get it, buddy. I didn't mean to graze by that. I fucking hate this. Oh, by the way, I mentioned this last time in the whole VR setting. It's like a Colonial Marines VR game. Fuck no. Anyways, I mentioned this last time. All of the games that I see coming out for VR, which is fucking frustrating, is indie darling games, kind of, which makes sense because VR is niche, all that stuff. I get it, but it's like the games that do succeed are usually shooters of some sort and etc. But like I constantly keep seeing VR games that are like weird, like they don't by any means need to be VR, where you're watching a little moth guy jump across petals, like leaf petals on a pond, and yeah, or it's like horror games, or it's like extremely narrative focused games, or it's puzzle games. Basically 90% of VR games can be summed up between puzzle games and like indie games with more steps, basically, and story games maybe. But the story is like weird. It's again, all the games that have the most selling VR games of all time are Bone Lab, as well. There's Half-Life Alyx, like and also other games that aren't like that, like what do you call it? There's I can't think of the name of it. But yeah, any game that has like physics or interactivity within gunplay or within shooting, or within melee, any way to engage with the external world. But there's huge things like co-op that's not existing in VR right now. It totally could, and there are versions of co-op that exist, so that's a thing that it can happen. There's like a Western game that's co-op that I've seen, so like I don't know why people aren't investing in the things that work. With exception to Bone Lab sold I think it's the most sold VR game right now. I think a lot of VR companies are looking at that, but it's also because it's a mod is form basically, which is why the first game that we seen looked interesting to me. Let me look at everything. Both worthy favorites. I love Gara, but I'd say Callie is my favorite from Myth, and well, anything with them both is the best. Wow, I would not have thought that. I'm about to say, I thought Gara would have been your favorite. Maybe you only mean Callie is your favorite in the game, but not in actuality. The dream is to get one of them, then buy the other one. Gara would be my third choice, but I don't have a character. Her skin is for. Oh, I see. I strongly recommend. Oh, see, this one looks cool too. VR. What is it? World? No, it's called Mixture. No, not that one. This one's Mixture. This is the fucking stupid moth one I seen. I'm like, stop making games like this. Just making fucking indie games. Why they gotta be VR? It adds so much more steps and doesn't give any more usefulness to it. Anyways, sorry to be negative. Fluff says I strongly consider Groove Caster for the Switch, as there have been multiple free updates and DLC packs, and have a lot of my favorite HoloLive VTubers. This one looked cool too. This would be a fun VR stream. It's like a Japanese Ronin style VR experience with like katanas and shit. It's all like black and white. Lone says also, I was playing PvP and went against a guy who had like 5 myth skins at level 110. I lost that much. But if I were to lose to anyone, I'm glad it was to that person. Yeah, to a rich person. Fluff says, although I am terrible at rhythm games, so I don't know if I really want to invest into something I'm not really play well off. That's true. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Nub says, although now you got a little more disposable income, I think, Fluff. This one looks horrible. It's horribly optimized. Anyways, I'll be honest, as it tends to be, most of like the VR experiences are like leading the charge is the first one we've seen, which is there's this one, Vertigo, and there's another one which I can't think of the name, but it looked cool too. Yeah, then there's this one which looks weird. I don't know how good it's gonna actually be, but yeah, there's racing ones. I don't know. It seems like a lot. Nub says, I can't play rhythm games at all, sadly, and there are a ton of good ones. Why can't you play a lot of rhythm games? Why can't you do that? Actually, Callie, I tend to enjoy watching the most in general. Her personality, most of her. Oh, can you describe what VTuber she looks like, or what she looks like? Most of the original music and covers are really enjoyable, but I absolutely adore any and all time Gara and Kali have a collaboration. I got you. So it's like the perfect harmonies, both. both is good. Plus, oddly, I have a soft spot for most of the pink VTubers, Iron Mouse included, but it particularly a bunch of the Hollow Live girls that I find visually appealing happened as a primary thing. Is this the one? Yeah, Into the Darkness also looks cool. I think this is also the Half-Life mod that I was seeing. These two games are on my list. Everything else, meh. I'm not sure if I'll love, honestly. Callie alluded to that. Watching that. Some boutique agents. Also, I love how every VR game, I talked about this before, every VR game you'll never see a human person ever, because it's just already too close to reality that people are like, we're gonna get copped or some shit. We're gonna get lit up by the SCC or something. Because my hand-eye coordination is shit. But that's how you improve your hand-eye coordination. Also, this game is made by one person. Looks sick. It's like a classic Doom-like game. Apparently, it's pretty difficult. Main reason I don't play shooters. Interesting. Huh. Fluff says Kali is a pink-haired reaper / rapper. Really down to okay. She's the pink-haired rap. Oh. Okay, yeah. I see. I think you're yeah. I think I seen her. She's like a pink-haired, long-haired, pink-haired. Has wear like a rapper cap, flat cap. Yeah. And like that seems like something syncs up. I kind of remember. This one, I don't know if I'm into. A lot of VR to me is whatever looks visually cool because we make content of it. I can put up with jank as long as it looks cool, which is very much all the games you're covering more or less. With the exception of Half-Life. Half-Life is the only one that looks pretty clean, but hopefully when we get to Boneworks and shit, to do perfect or live, die, repeats, that could be good. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna have to wind down. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anyone who is streaming like a Luca? Because otherwise we are just gonna wind down because I want to go play VR Melee game. Luca is not streaming, that goddamn bastard. But ladies and gentlemen, you've been nothing but absolutely brilliant. I appreciate you so much for spending time with me this holiday season. Tomorrow we will be playing also video games. Where's my... Why can't I... Oh, there we go. And click. There we go. Tomorrow we will be playing... I don't know, dude. What do you think we should play? It's either going to be Melee V... I think it's going to be Melee VR. I don't want to play Melee VR with you guys. It's either going to be Melee VR, at Hellsplit Arena, or Tower of Fantasy, but probably Melee VR things. Lone says, for me, I just find the Grim Reaper appearance and the Time Traveler detective cool concepts. Okay. The one that, to me, I think looks visually the coolest is that she's like a Cthulhu monster person. I don't know if I enjoy her content, but her look is pretty out there, which I like. As for Console Final is my favorite, mostly thanks to their preference of games, sense of humor, ASMR content, and visual design of her avatar and outfit. Okay. You guys are saying these names. I gotta describe them, but it's fine. We're next time. Hit me up next time. No, Fluff says, till next time, if I'm able to attend, since I'll probably be occupied with Christmas festivities. Yes, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending time with me. Hopefully tomorrow, that's why I also kind of want to play the Melee game, is because I'll be able to make a dent in the Live Die Repeat I want to do of it. So even if it's just me slicing and dicing, that could be a thing. But if anyone's going to tune in, I appreciate it. Don't feel obligated, because it is the holidays. Spend time with your family. Enjoy the season. We'll kick off Tuesday right with the most Boneworks you've ever seen. But I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out. Hopefully I can see you tomorrow. If you can make some time, you can find a gap, I'd appreciate seeing you. But thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. And goodbye, my friends.